right, everyone. DCU Daily Time, and today's a big one if you couldn't tell by the title. Odyssey. Thursday previews. I think the 70mm got released yesterday, but now we're in Thursday previews. Odyssey comes out tomorrow. Two people in this chat have already beaten me to the punch, so, I'm going to be seeing it tomorrow. But that's okay. I know how to spell it right, so that's good. But Odyssey review, we're going to be just starting it from the get-go. Starting it from the get-go. And we are going to be talking about just full-on reviews for both Liz and Dan. We are going to be, and then a little bit of Odyssey news after the fact. And then, of course, after that, a whole bunch of MCU Weekly. We got rumors, we got quick hits, and we got Spider-Man. We have all types of stuff. The biggest thing is, Marvel Comics moving from New York to LA. Got some X-Men stuff. Got some Avengers Doomsday stuff. We got some updates in regards to the Midnight comic line. And then, of course, Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's gonna be here in a little over 2 weeks. So we got to be talking about that. Well, we shall be satiated with Tom Holland and Zendaya bits with Odyssey. So that'll be fine. Then we get into our quick hits. We're gonna talk about a couple trailers there, and then we are going to get into DC stuff. Not a ton, but there is still one major story that I assume that many are probably pissed about. I don't know, I'm kind of numb to it all. I kind of just don't really care at this point. But we're going to be talking about it, and there's probably going to be anger involved in that. But that's okay, because that's what we're here for, ladies and gents. But before I talk too long, let's get it started.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. And you're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Welcome, ladies and gents. Here we are to talk about Nolan's epic. But before we get into that, I have to, introduce myself, of course. John, hello. Welcome to the show. We're about to start this shit, but Liz already asked us in the chat, what am I ranting about tonight? I don't know what I'm ranting about. I mean, I'm not ranting about the Odyssey.
It could be any number of things. But...
One, I haven't seen it, and two, I don't think I'll hate it, so I don't think there's gonna be a rant there. I don't know what else I'd be ranting. But I'm ranting about like the lack of Blue Beetle animated show. Maybe, I don't fucking know. He's gonna appear in Man tomorrow, so why would I give a fuck about that? I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, Caleb is unfortunately here. Then we got Monique. That sounds really fucking good. I never heard of watermelon at dinner, but that sounds
hell yeah,
pretty
bro.
base.
Refreshing. Sounds refreshing.
We're not doing spoilers because again,
no,
33% of this panel has not seen it. And yes, I understand the Odyssey is a fucking thousands upon 1,000-year-old story, but still, like in terms of this context, no, I don't want the movie spoiled. So whatever, and we're not doing spoilers, so no.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we all agree
we're not
with you,
gonna,
John.
so shut the fuck up, Caleb.
Not doing it. We're not doing it.
Hunter Iggy, we'll get to that when we get to DCU Daily.
God bless.
But Movie Spud here. Hello. Welcome, Movie Spud.
Hello.
And then Joshua Brooks.
Joshua. Oh, don't.
Don't
but
get my hopes
Liz,
up, buddy.
Yes.
Don't get my
Liz
hopes
is
up.
here.
Another Bone Daddy to add to the list.
But Liz is here. That'd be like trying to get like, oh yeah, let's get Pauly Shore for the Joker. That'll be
First
a
of
good
all,
idea, right?
first of all, how dare you? How absolutely dare you? And by the way, Pauly Shore would probably be a really fun Riddler, so you can just shut up.
No. Well, I prefer people who can act and are funny, who are actually worthy.
He
of
can
being thought
act.
about.
He's just gotten a little. Oh no, he's here. Shit! Everybody, button up, button up.
What's the problem?
Remember, Dan, I got a hard out tonight, so if you want to get to
know.
any damn links,
I'm just saying. I already did
We
a
just need
4
you
hour
for
show
the
yesterday,
Odyssey
so-
review, which is probably going
That's
to be
right,
fucking
that's all-
2 hours anyway, and then you
I
can,
know. Yep.
move
Yep.
along, unfortunately. So,
yep.
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Monique also has
probably
the-
Batman delay. Oh, I
Lord,
couldn't
nice.
give two flying fucking shits about that. I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay, great. It got delayed. Oh no, it only got delayed 3 more times, and it's only by like 4 months. Okay. Like, I don't.
Well, we'll
again,
talk-
I'm
get to
not
that.
a huge
We'll get to that later.
Batman fan. If I actually loved the movie, I'd probably.
I
be
love
mad,
the movie.
but-
I'm sad about it.
just,
I'm
you know.
very disappointed. But as I said to John off chat, our Pats is doing just fine. He's got plenty of work. He's
Yeah.
going to stay busy until that point, so it's all good. It's all good. We don't have to worry about our boy Edward. And I'm going to keep calling him that regardless of whether or not he ever acknowledges those films again.
Now, if Clayface got delayed a full year, then I'd be mad because that's,
That's
the
probably
Batman
happening,
project
to
I
be
actually
fair.
care
That's
about.
also probably happening.
So
What did I
you know,
miss? What's going on? I just kind of walked into John looking at the chat. I don't know what's. did we
we're
get- I
just
don't think we've
we're
done
just talking
anything.
chat. 'Cause we haven't even gotten to the real meat and
Okay.
potatoes yet.
Yeah,
Got it,
it's
okay.
Tangent City over here, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 minutes in, we haven't even
Again,
talked
gang,
about the Odyssey.
your girl has a heart out, so if you want to get me to any of these topics, y'all better stop it. We got
Anyway,
we gotta-
So now
no,
let's get to it. Let's talk about it.
Let's
the
talk
Odyssey.
about it.
It's here. It's here already. To the chagrin
here.
of the misogynists, the
queer.
racists, and the
It's fabulous.
transphobes, it is indeed here. So
Yeah. I
like-
literally just.
I don't know.
walked out of
That's
the
all
movie.
up to you fuckers, because I haven't seen the fucking
Sorry.
movie, so I can't talk about it.
I'm just.
Woo! Woo!
Well,
Woo!
it's
Rant
John,
alert.
but it's not. We knew this coming in tonight. I'm just nobody's
I know. Just like
surprised.
We're
you
not-
with the-
we're not
I don't
gonna
know. What do you
spoil
want
it.
me to do?
We're
What are
not
your
gonna
thoughts?
spoil it, baby. We're not spoiling it.
Yeah, but I'm just. Liz, you saw it earlier. I was gonna see it
I did.
earlier, but
I saw it at
ended
2
up
o'clock.
just. Yeah, I ended up literally just coming out of it now. So yeah, I mean, is there like a thing in the background?
I've met
Do
3
you
people
hear
in the
it?
cast.
Oh, there's music playing. Okay, I was like,
I
where's
know.
music
I
in the
put
back-
the music on because there's.
Oh, you
weird,
did
like,
put the
Dan was
music
like,
on.
"Am I
Okay.
having a
on in the
stroke?"
background.
Yeah.
No, because I was like, I'm hearing like this before the music came on. It was
No,
like
I
this
heard like a vacuum or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I was hearing.
By the way, I would like to point out,
Anyway,
it makes the perfect Kleenex holder.
that is bigger
Oh,
than
you
I thought it
even got-
was.
Oh god.
Wow, that's bigger than I thought
And
it
so
was.
this lights up. You push this button, and you actually have a scene from the film in the lens.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
It's
when
amazing. That's the
Nolan
only
was
reason
showing
I
it
bought
off.
it, and the fact that it fits a full-size box of Kleenex. I said this is perfect for my desk in the studio. So here we are. We did also get the horse as
Yeah.
well. We all have the horse, and the horse is glorious. It is glorious. Be jealous that we all possess the
yes.
horse now.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start talking about the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Gang, I'm just gonna get right into it. Before there was John Bernthal, before I was ever Team Edward, and will be till the day I die, there was Matthew Page Damon, my friends, and that's how your girls stayed lady boned this whole time. The original Bone Daddy done did his damn thing in this film. Will he win an Oscar? No. He will more than likely be nominated, however, and my goodness. You're not joking, Jonathan. You are not joking. Ladies and gents, from start to finish, what I loved about the Odyssey was that at no point did it feel like you were there for over 2 hours. They kept it moving.
That's true.
Nolan
That's
knows
true.
how to tell a story. As the person who has most recently read the entire book that Nolan based this off of, he did leave out a couple of things here and there, but I appreciate that he did because it would have been a 4-hour long film, so I'm not mad about it. But like certain pieces of dialogue, things like that, a little bit of back and forth between some of the characters. But whoo, baby,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, my goodness! This was just the undertaking, it was epic, it was glorious, it was beautifully shot, everything was beautifully made and put together, a lot of thought put in behind it all. And I mean, all of the performances were absolutely stellar in my opinion as well. And as much as people were freaking out about Elliot Page, spoiler alert, he's in it for a hot second. So I don't it's just the fact that, you know, because he's existing in the world, it's just big. You guys. Yes, he is a very important character for sure. Yes, the hotness factor, Monique, the lady boners were boning. Again, we have our Pats, we have John Bernthal, we have Matthew Page Damon, we have Tom Holland. If you're into that sort of thing, he's a little young for me, unfortunately, but
yeah, he's got that twink energy, not a lot of people are into. There's
a little bit for everybody in this film, and my goodness, they done brought it. They did their damn thing. Dan, go ahead. You talk about it. You just saw it, so.
I literally just walked out of the movie.
Did they applaud in your theater? They applauded in mine.
Yes,
I saw it in Dolby.
They did. I heard applause. I wasn't.
How full were each of your theaters?
My theater was almost sold out. My theater was full. Absolutely
I think I saw 2 empty seats, and one of them was like the next to the wheelchair spots. So, I mean, it was practically sold out. And it's like.
And by the way, I picked up our popcorn buckets at 11 a.m. and I'm pretty sure they were gone by the time I got back at 2. So it's just just epic. Yeah, it's epic.
I was just gonna, again, we'll get into more details, but again, keeping it spoiler free, we'll do a more detailed review tomorrow once John has seen it, and so we can go into spoilers, and then we'll keep the conversation going. But there were no 30-minute standing ovations. Maybe, you know, Caleb will do that. I mean, Caleb, nobody has the legs. People gotta go have dinner, go to bed.
Who's clapping for 30 minutes? Ain't nobody got time or stamina for that.
People probably.
But I mean, genuinely, look at that. There's no CGI there. I mean, if you want to talk, like, so to not talk about spoilers, we want to just talk about epics in general. What can we compare this to? We can't even compare it to like Lord of the Rings because a lot of that was CGI, a lot of that was special effects. This is all practical. This is all real extras and actors. And I mean, the world building is unbelievable in this.
I don't think it was 30 minutes.
Just absolutely spectacular. Well, the Odyssey hit $1 billion. So, okay. I think it might. I think it might, to be fair. Yeah. Worldwide. Well, I think it might.
But I thought this was supposed to fail, guys.
Hi, Johnny.
This was supposed to be the worst thing ever. I thought this was, you know, this was going to be the worst movie ever. It was going to make like $1,000 at the box office.
Yeah.
It's
okay, by the way, for Chimera, the thing about diversity, I don't look the fact that you're calling it diversity casting. I don't think
not at all.
I don't think the idea of a diversity casting is even a thing. Like, what does diversity casting even mean? First of all, because it's not like in a, like,
it means putting brown people in what we assumed were white characters. That's what that means.
But the thing is,
call a
like,
spade a spade.
Like, I understand what people are getting at, but I'm like, look, it's not like when you cast a movie that you're making DEI hires. Like, if that's like, so the false politicization of this movie is beyond me. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is the casting in this does not feel out of place. Honestly, also, like, the first 10 minutes of the movie, I did notice Hello Brogu. I noticed the modern language more. There's one specific moment in the movie, and I'm gonna give you away the line, but I'm not gonna tell you where it comes. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't know the context. It's where Matt Damon says, "I think he's asleep," and like, I literally did hear 1 or 2 chuckles in the theater.
It was in the trailer. That was in the trailer. It was in the trailer.
That was about it. And that felt like it was like it wasn't, they weren't trying to go for funny, but maybe it's just, or maybe they realized it was funny and kept it in. But anyway, so other than that, here's the thing. By the way, Himesh Patel's performance in the movie is great. He's a pretty big part of it.
Fantastic.
Dude. Okay, so my thoughts on the film. Over big picture stuff, just literally, again, I'm not joking, guys. I know that Liz and John know, but you guys just know this. I drove back home and walked in and sat down, and we're doing the show. So just, immediate reactions. Hello, Steven. And we'll get to more of your questions in a second. I'm saving the ones we can get to later. But immediate reactions, the way the movie ends. There were 2 or 3 moments in this movie, Liz, and I wonder what you think, because there were 2 or 3 moments in this movie where you could tell that this movie had parallels to the story and the themes of Oppenheimer, in the sense that the way, and if you have read the Odyssey, if you have If you have obviously watched Oppenheimer or read the book, Nolan sort of, I'm pretty sure on purpose, draws like an interesting parallel of like Oppenheimer became aware of what he was, what he has set off, the chain of events, and what he was living through, and that sense of self-awareness. I'm just gonna say, to me it sounded like the way this movie ends, and then there's a few moments before the movie ends, not like right before, but like throughout the film, in the latter half of the film, where you start to you really feel like, oh, it's that moment where you in Oppenheimer see the fictional all the nuclear bombs launch because now we're in the nuclear age. This had something similar. Obviously, the events of this movie take place in the Bronze Age. That's not a secret. Like, again, that's just the Odyssey. I thought this movie, the Odyssey, is surprisingly, because I was reading the reviews earlier today, the Odyssey is a movie less about, the events that are showcased in the film, and it's more about a movie for us in the here and the now times, and the all times, because this movie kind of takes that idea of it's all happened before and it will all happen again, and those hard-earned lessons from the past will be forgotten again, and this, like, the world goes in cycles, history may not repeat, but it does rhyme, and this movie kind of plays that out quite a bit.
Poetry, it rhymes.
It's poetry. I mean, exactly. And so that, to me, again, this movie had a sense of elegant, like Christopher Nolan is known for elegant writing, in the sense that when his movies, when they come out, their pacing is usually great. Like, Liz, I agree with you, this movie never felt like it was as long as this runtime actually was, 2 hours 53 minutes. I thought it would drag at times. Even Oppenheimer, I did look at my watch once or twice. This movie, no, I never was like distracted, like, oh god, can we move on already? There was always enough stuff going on, which goes to show you
great. Yeah.
This huge cast is spread out across so many locations. There were parts in this movie, as somebody who gets seasick, I was like, oh no, like if I was cast in this movie, the first question I'd be asking is, are we gonna be on the boats for real? Because, oh man, like, it's like, and watching that shit in IMAX, I'm like, you gotta look down a few times, because like it might make you seasick, because how, like, I'm like, they fit those big ass IMAX cameras and camera crews onto those ships in addition to those people that are on camera and stuff. It's wild. So again, it's thoroughly the movie making, the physical movie making, film production of this film was impressive end to end. And Liz, I don't know if you want to back me up on this. I did not realize how many sequences in this movie you felt like there were 1,000 or more people on screen. Like in The Dark Knight Rises,
there probably was. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm like, the last time we saw this kind of scale from Christopher Nolan, it was The Dark Knight Rises, and you saw it in like maybe 2 or 3 specific things. It was the stadium scene where they definitely replicated a lot of the extras.
Not Interstellar. That was pretty, grandiose.
No, I mean like having scale, as in having 1,000 or more people on camera,
Gotcha.
not CGI doubles. I mean real people. Like in this movie, there's like half a dozen or more, and it's spread out throughout the movie. Like like all of these, there are these big locations in the movie, and a lot of them, it's old school filmmaking, in the sense that back in the the golden age of Hollywood, decades ago, you would have movies like this, Lawrence of Arabia and stuff, where you just they didn't know how to fake it. They didn't have CGI. They couldn't do other VFX, whether it was SFX or practical effects or CGI effects. They were like, we can't fake this shit. We're just gonna put we're just gonna get people and put them on screen. We're gonna dress up 1,000 people in with swords and sandals, and we're gonna put them on screen. It's like, and this movie constantly shows you the scale. Like it's very earnest. I feel like, yes, somewhere there's probably hidden VFX and they cheated maybe some shots, but it's kind of like there's, Liz, the fact that there's 3 scenes at least in this movie where remember in one of the Pirates movies where the famous one when he's running away from all the pirates that are chasing him on the beach. In this movie there's like 3 of them, and I'm like, they pulled that shit, and they're not the same location. And it's as somebody who appreciates great cinematography and also appreciates what goes into those big days on set, like in The Dark Knight Rises, you had the battle in the 3rd act with all the police officers and Bane's army, and then you had, of course, the stadium stuff. And I think there was some stuff before that with the police officers, by the bridge. But in this movie, it's just it's one to the next to the next. So I really again, it is literally Christopher Nolan's biggest movie ever, in a very physical sense, but also, like I said, there's an elegance to the story, because Nolan's storytelling usually is like with the pacing and how like poetically he does the setups and payoffs really well, and everything kind of is tied up. You don't feel like you have any questions about plot holes at the end of the movie, despite the fact that some people like to poke holes in some of his films, which I've never found that any of those things to really hold up to scrutiny. But the point is, in this movie, there's a type of elegance to the story toward the end, which I feel like Nolan has now gone into the sweet spot with Oppenheimer, where it's not just elegance in the pacing of the movie or the story mechanics with setups and payoffs. There's thematic elegance to his movies between Oppenheimer and now the Odyssey. And quite frankly, aside from just the storytelling and the all-star cast, I was just really happy to see that Charlize Theron wasn't so much of the movie. That was brilliant. I was happy to see they did veer away from the original Odysseus on a few things as well. So in terms of like how it is in the book versus how it plays out in the movie, without spoiling it obviously. And yeah, there were moments in the movie where I'm like, what am I watching? In the sense like, John, like when you watch Legion for the first time, it's not as mind trippy, but when you watch the Legion for the first time, you go in with the marketing pitch that the show made to you with the trailers. But then as you watch the show, like you're just like, I need to reorient myself because I don't know what exactly I'm watching, because you go in with your set of expectations, even if you try to leave them at the door. It's just how we expect to experience a movie or a TV show. This movie kind of changes your perspective several times as it goes along, where you're like, oh, it's this kind, and then this is the kind of movie I'm watching. Like there was a horror scene in this movie that like they've talked about it online. Like Nolan does a true horror scene. I think there's like several, to be honest, but there's one that very much feels like it belongs in a horror movie. So yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed. If I had to give it a rating right now, again, just coming out of it, I'm almost Monday morning quarterbacking my review because it's so fresh in my mind. But I would say this movie is, for me, a good like 9.5 out of 10. I think that the only 0.5 out of that I'll take out is probably because, there were some times where, and maybe that's just my perception, it's like, we think of mythology as larger than life tales, where Christopher Nolan decided to make this in a way where it feels like, well, these were real people, these are real places. So there isn't that movie magic grandeur in some ways that we don't expect, but then he makes up for it at the end with the thematic grandeur of the story.
You definitely sense. Leave feeling like this is a historical, a true historical fact. That this is what happened. Eons ago. I would give it a 9 myself. It's certainly not perfect. Like I said, I do take a little bit of issue with the language because, like I said, saying dad and daddy wouldn't be so bad, but they use it throughout the entire film, and to me it's like almost distracting. Like I appreciate that he's sort of trying to modernize the language, but at the same time it doesn't work for me, so it is what it is there. But my god, all of the actors were absolutely phenomenal, perfectly cast. I don't have one bad thing to say about anybody in the film, so and again, considering I've met 3 of them, I'm a very happy gal. So the
last hour was phenomenal.
And again, while I do think it would help, especially with everybody that's, like you said, blowing holes in Nolan's work, I think it would help for people to read the Odyssey ahead of time so that you understand the mythology, you understand the role that the various gods play, because I don't think they necessarily make it clear.
Of this movie even know how to read? I mean,
well, no, but because again, if you're someone who goes in now, if you've watched like Clash of the Titans, let's say, you know the majority of the plot and the story. However, they don't make it clear. They don't really explain to you certain gods, certain characters that just kind of show up and make things happen. I think really the only one that they really, really explain is probably Zendaya's role as Athena. But other than that, I loved it. It's beautiful. Really, just see it if you appreciate top tier quality filmmaking. I mean, this was made for the big screen, and if you can go out and see it in such, please do so. I don't give a shit what format it is, but please go see it in a movie theater, and you'll be glad that you did. Really, it's absolutely worth your time.
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. I mean, I'm just looking at your comments. Eugene gave it a 8.5 out of 10. Marvel Cup gave it a 9 out of 10. We're just getting started, Marvel Cuphead. Stick around. We got so much more to get into even after this. MTG giving it an 8.5 to a 9.2. That's a very, very specific rating, but sure. That's still really high. I mean, John, you got the score up on screen, 96% with 261 reviews. The fact that it's a Thursday and there's 261 reviews in there, this is like peak Marvel 2010s era of like number of reviews. It goes to show you that I think what Nolan has done here and Universal is make this an event film in a way that Liz, you could take over from here. Like, I don't think Marvel remembers how to do event movies the way that Nolan has done here with the Odyssey, outside of the Avengers. But the Avengers kind of sell themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the 2010s
I mean, we'll
again.
see what happens in a couple of weeks with Spider-Man, but yeah, I mean, like I said, my showing was at 2:00. I had gotten there at 10:45 to get the popcorn bucket. Someone was already leaving with the popcorn bucket as I was pulling in. So like the fandom is rabid for this. We over prepared for this, you know. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens over the weekend with the box office. This is the only new release that's out this weekend, so it's sure to dominate. Nobody wants to see fucking Moana, I'll tell you that. So, listen, I hope they make a bill. I genuinely do. I think worldwide box office, I think it's absolutely possible. It is just, it's a film, the likes we have not seen in quite some time. So, it's going to be one that you're going to be talking about for a really long time.
Yeah. Hey, Georgie. Georgie wants to say hello.
Again, hi, Georgie. Georgie loves the camera.
She loves the camera. She looked directly into the camera yesterday, said hello to the people.
Love it.
She was like, why are you still doing this 4 hours in, Dan? Or like, like, let's turn this thing off. Anyway,
here's
Eugene
my
went to
butt.
see back-to-back 3 and 6 p.m. showings. Nice.
Cats are so good at that.
I'm seeing it at 2 p.m. tomorrow with the folks, so...
You guys
your
know
folks
something?
will love it, John.
I booked 3 showings for it today because I was going to go see it at 3 p.m. the same time as Liz, and then I had work stuff come up. So then I ended up going to a 6:40 screening, and then I was like, I'm gonna get late, so I'm gonna miss the beginning. So I also booked at 10 p.m. Now I have A-list, so I'm like, I guess I used 3 of my 4 spots for the week, which
You
is
can
fine.
get them all refunded, Dan.
Yeah, you can get them refunded.
You could have canceled all of them 2 minutes before the showtime.
I guess it was whatever. It's fine. I'm not gonna.
It's too hard. It's like 3 clicks, but it's too hard. Can't do it.
But dude, it resets when does it reset? Like a Sunday? I'm not gonna go.
Thursday. It resets on Thursday.
Wait, so you mean now I have to wait until next Thursday?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. I guess I can still ask for a refund. If you send them an email, which I've done before, they will refund you. So, But hey, anyway, the point is, I'm supporting the movie. I paid for 3 tickets technically on AMC's dime. Almost.
So you know what? Fucking just stick with it. You don't have to refund it.
Anyway.
Go with it.
Anyway.
Yeah. By the way, if I were to consider, do I consider it a top 5 Nolan film? I mean, Nolan's filmography is so stacked. Like, it's not like an immediate obvious ad.
No, it's absolutely a top 5 Nolan film.
Oh, by the way, I also wanted to ask something that really interested me because. Like I've been seeing nothing but constant reviews like the past 2 days because I think like the 70mm was released yesterday. Dan, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but because I saw people go into the 70mm and they were doing reviews yesterday, as in like normal people, not
because dude, they're doing 2 a.m. screenings. 2 a.m. 70mm screenings are sold out.
Okay.
That's
what it is.
Anyway.
So
you walk out of it, the sun is coming up. That's what.
I mean, that's what I did for fucking Deathly Hallows Part 2. I went to
talk about a matinee.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask because I see this like constantly with all these reviews, and I wanted to ask the both of you specifically, since you gave it such like high ratings and high reviews. Did you personally get paid by Nolan to give a good review, or did you get paid by Universal to give a good review? That's just all I
will accept a check from either. Please give me a call. First of all,
that's what I've been seeing. Like all the people in the comments,
they had representatives at the door.
Yes, good reviews.
Yes, they had representatives at the door of the theater handing out tickets and checks and large popcorns. I still had to pay for the popcorn bucket though, so I feel a little cheated on that one.
I got a monster.
Yes, how much was the check? Was it like $100? Did you just get a reimbursed ticket? Like,
it paid for. It didn't even pay for my popcorn bucket. It's peanuts. It's
Oh,
bullshit.
damn,
No,
that
it's
stinks.
listen, man.
That
you guys,
stinks,
it's
guys. I'm
it's
sorry,
rated
but, like,
cinema.
Dan, did you get
Take-
paid a handsome amount for your good review?
I mean, I wish.
No.
It's I mean, dude, I didn't get a poster. I think they were giving posters as part of specific kind of formats, by the way. Or like
yeah,
there's
we
some
didn't have
promotions,
posters at
but
my
anyway.
theater either. I
But
think
anyway,
tomorrow
for
they're
anyone
going to
who
do
didn't know,
posters.
that was a joke. That was sarcasm, ladies and gents. I have to say that. And my parents are yelling about something, so like, hang on a second.
But okay, I just wanted to the people who are maybe like saying, "Oh my God, it's not really anything all that special." Here's the thing: go into the
Yeah, it
movie
is.
with the earnest, like, because the thing is, Liz, I think some people expect, oh, for this to be the greatest thing ever in the modern day of like Hollywood blockbuster filmmaking, that this is gonna be the kind of spectacle they've never seen before. Like Oppenheimer, the Odyssey is not showing you anything on screen that you physically haven't seen before. Like the ships of the Bronze Age are not as impressive of the ships that you saw from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, because again,
Ladies
it's a
and
different
gentlemen,
time.
we got him.
Yeah. We got the popcorn bucket. Thank you, Brian. But what I was gonna say though, like this isn't, so if you're going in expecting like, oh my God, I'm gonna get visually blown away like I've never been before, like the scale of this movie is literally in doing it all for like as real as they possibly can. It's like they built it for real, they put the camera and the people on the ships for real, they went to these locations, these historic sites, as well as just, you know, I mean, literally when it comes down to it, all of the Odyssey takes place in the Mediterranean, right? Like, if you want to take like a zoom out bird's eye view of what the story actually is, it's not like they're globe trotting in some, like, it's not that. The impressive nature of the film comes from the elegant story in terms of how it's written, thematically how it plays out. It's both like a victory and a tragedy at the same, like it's both a, you know, what would they call it? Like it's both a comedy and a tragedy at the same time, in the sense that, you know, the movie, you feel victorious at the end, and yet you feel defeated at the end, because it shows you that, you know, hey, the hard learned lessons will be forgotten again. And it's like, that's where I, you know, keep saying this movie it's almost like trying to hold up a mirror to the society today, but also it's so timeless in the sense that you would always, you know, you could time this out to any like part of history, like the 19th century, 20th century, the 21st century. When I say comedy, it's that whole idea, like, you know, and what is it in screenplay writing, or like you're either writing a comedy or a drama in the sense, or a tragedy, because it's like, if it ends with a positive ending,
write
it's
tragedies? Is that's the thing?
You know what I mean? Like it's from screen. It's not. Don't take it literally.
No, I know.
Caleb.
I'm just
don't take it. I'm trying to explain it to Caleb, because I don't think Caleb knows. So, you know, because anyway, we won't get into that too much more. A random guest favorite.
Whatever that fucking, you know, song is. Do I write sins and tragedies? What's the name of that fucking song? Isn't that my kind of I don't know.
That's No, it's Fall Out Boy.
Okay.
You write sins, not tragedies.
Same fucking emo punk.
How dare you?
shit.
Absolutely not.
Like,
How dare you?
It's all
Absolutely
the same.
Not. Absolutely
like,
not.
Come on.
Absolutely not, sir. Nope. And I've seen them both in concert, so.
It's, you know what? It might be my favorite Matt Damon performance. You know, once you get past the modern dialogue and maybe a little bit of his Boston accent sneaking in, I think it is.
Oh,
I mean, just again, the physicality of his
do
performance.
appreciate he didn't try to do a British accent or anything. I do appreciate. You know.
Where are my dunks? Anyway.
First of all, everybody knows his best performance was The Wall, so let's not go there.
Yeah. But the other thing I was gonna mention about the movie is
Matt Damon was in Pink Floyd The Wall? I didn't know that.
Anyway.
Okay. I was just gonna say they did this in like 2 years' time. That to me is really impressive. Like from the moment that they said no one's
You know,
working on this,
I gotta agree
unheard
with
of.
Caleb here. I gotta agree with I gotta agree
At a
with
scale
Caleb
like this,
there.
it's unheard of.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just
anyway. Caleb.
Yeah, like it's hard to.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Again, it's
That's
hard
what
to
I
put.
think
Because
every
again,
time I get
it
a
shows
lady
you
boner.
efficiency.
Matt Damon.
Well, but again, okay, Caleb.
Matt Damon.
I'm just because Caleb is distracting from the conversation. Caleb, you can sit in a timeout for a minute, because if you're just gonna troll.
No, he wasn't even doing anything.
No, but I'm just honestly, if you're gonna distract from the show, because we gotta stick on a schedule here, you could sit it out for a minute and then come back and we'll see how you do. But again,
that's why I didn't say great. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Anyway,
for me, it's
well,
just
you made
again,
everyone
if you're
confused
expecting
'cause
this.
you thought you were-
you're welcome.
Wall.
Let's move along. Let's move along.
Anyway,
One last point I want to make about the movie.
It's so great.
One last point is, for now, like the film, like, because it's become such a big event movie, kind of like Barbenheimer, what happened with Oppenheimer and Barbie, it adds, speaking of Caleb, like a certain aura to the film that maybe otherwise wouldn't be there, and that is beyond the movie itself. So I'm sure like some of our goggles will come off eventually and we'll look at it in a more critical sense, but even when you do, I think the genius of Nolan movies generally tends to be that the movie still holds up, and I feel like this will hold up, like Oppenheimer still holds up, and any of his other movies. So yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it in more spoilery, detailed way, I'm sure, tomorrow. John, I can't wait to see what you have to say about it, and see, like, whether it changes your perspective on movie making at all. So, yeah. There's also him and I'm fucking. Oh yeah, that's true. Anyway, all right. Well, let's keep going then.
Anyway, so we have like a couple things here, but apparently a leaked clip from Christopher Nolan's Epic confirms Elliot Page's role, and they were. It was Sinon, but you know, after all the things of like, oh, they're playing Achilles, oh, they're gonna play this other character, but nope, they were just playing Sinon.
Yeah.
So,
and it's and you know what? I think if Nelson was here, he would be standing up and clapping, because it is honestly, for Elliot Page for their career, this is probably the biggest role that they've ever had, quite frankly, and they don't have a lot of screen time, but their role is very significant in terms of how the role it plays in the movie. And there's this very satisfying moment at the end of the film where you're like, yeah, like I literally, like, people were cheering in the audience, because it's the thing with like Lizz, when you remember in Oppenheimer when you find out that RDJ's guy is the actual bad guy in the film, and I literally heard gasps in the theater. When this moment happens in the movie, I literally heard cheers in the theater audience, being like, yeah, because like finally, you know, another character got what was coming to them by way of Elliot Page's character's role in the film. So anyway, I'm trying to be as generic as, you know.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But hey, we know. By the way, I do agree with you on the whole like character, like, you know, they don't explain like Calypso, Circe, and everything. Like, if you're not familiar with your Greek mythology, or if it's long escaped your mind.
Luckily, I grew up with Percy Jackson, baby. I am ready. Let's go. I have all the books right up there.
I'm just saying, like,
of the Roman
high school was a long time ago.
So.
You know, like, high school was such a long time ago. I'm like, even for me, there's a little bit of cloudiness there, like, or, you know, and I usually am able to keep a hold of some details. But, and yeah, it's good to kind of brush up, because, I mean, Liz, would you agree that this movie, it won't, like, if you read the book, The Odyssey, it won't take away from the experience of the movie, right? And
no, again, I think it helps, because you have more of an understanding of the role the various gods play, and how all of that stuff kind of works out. I mean, not to say that you know what to expect, but again, for me, I really appreciated the things that Nolan left out. I thought he was very smart in again, trying to keep the pacing, trying to keep it moving, knowing full well that he wanted to make it all in one film, and it would be impossible to do so if he included every bit of dialogue and every exchange between the characters. So I do really respect the choices that he made in that regard. So yeah. It's, again, gang, read it, don't read it. I hope you do, but okay, go watch Clash of the Titans first, so you kind of get an understanding of the plot. But go see this. Go see this fucking film, because it's.
Or just watch Troy, because that precedes it anyway. Like,
John, I'm talking about the real Clash of the Titans with Lisa Rinna's husband. I can't remember his name right now, and I feel bad because I've met him as well, from the 1970s. But you go ahead and enjoy your crappy Liam Neeson Clash of the Titans.
No, ew, gross. No, I'm a connoisseur. Come on, I just assumed you liked that because, you know.
The Odyssey 2 meet Hades. I'm sure Nolan is not interested in that, but I will say though, like
Harry Hamlin. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Yes,
Brian's
but I
always
have met him. I feel bad that I forgot his name.
Yeah. Troy does not tell the whole story. Even the movie Troy doesn't tell the whole story.
No, of course. Absolutely. Of
course. But, you know.
To Johnny's question, is this a movie that you'd want to see multiple times, or one is enough? I think for me,
I would see it again.
Like, one was enough. But
yeah, Oppenheimer one. But you know, for me, with it was the pacing for Oppenheimer in that regard. But this one, I'd absolutely see multiple times.
Yeah, I think this is a movie that, like a lot of good movies, whether it's Nolan films, Denis Villeneuve, others like, you know, even Kubrick and obviously Scorsese, like some of their best works, they get better the more times you watch the movie. I recommend, if you want to really experience this movie properly, having just seen it once, I think you have to see it at least 2 times, because you have so much to keep track of that there were times in the movie where I was like, okay, I need to just keep up with what's going on. So I think there will be a greater emotional investment the second time around, because you'll be able to kind of just sit with the moments, because you're not trying to, like, you'd already know how, like, where the story is going, how it's going to end, and where you started, and you could just experience the story more than try to, like, watch it, follow the plot, make sure you don't miss any lines of dialogue and stuff. So yeah, I think at least watching it twice is good for this one. Absolutely. Yeah, cool. Let's keep going. There's one other, John, they're making a TV show of the Odyssey. This was interesting. So, yeah. Did you read into this, or do you want me to walk through? Because I feel like this is,
you can talk about
okay.
it.
So, if you scroll down in this article, basically, there is I mean, the headline obviously, you know, goes with all the big, like, this is a European-based production company working on this. You know, the headline says, Odyssey TV series readied by Stranger Things exec, Halo director, and Greek outfit, you know, Tanvir. So, they're getting all the credentials out front. Oh, look, we got a guy from Stranger Things who's exec producing it. Oh, we got the Halo director on it. Oh, and then it's Greek outfit.
You know,
meaning,
Stranger Things and Halo,
they know what they're
is
doing.
Not the flex you think it is, guys.
I'm just,
like,
but I'm saying, like,
now.
it's...
I'm saying that's a deadline. That's
yeah.
not, you know.
I think it's more for the industry than it is, because, like, from an industry standard, you know, like, Stranger Things obviously is big. You worked on Stranger Things, and that's on your resume, that counts. But yeah, this is an independent European US TV series. So basically, a US production company is working with a US Armenian outfit called USA TV, not to be confused with USA Network in the US. But they're going to be working on a show. Now, this show is based on the time, the Bronze Age, the time when, you know, the Odyssey takes place. But it's going to focus. They talk about it like it's going to be more gritty, grounded, focusing on the events of the time rather than the Homer's Odyssey itself. So it's more of a derivation and more loosely based than, whereas I think Nolan is going more specifically off, like, the book itself. So, or, you know, particular translation of the book. So yeah, I mean, they describe it as visceral, muscular, the real Bronze Age world of blood, ships, betrayal, characters trying to survive the era that inspired Homer's epic. The emphasis on real history lets the story collide with the wider convulsions of the age leading up to the Bronze Age collapse, breaking the known world apart into legend. Because again, ultimately, Homer's Odyssey is all about, like, the ending of the Bronze Age in a way, and the spectacular way that it all fell apart. And so this show is going to cover that. So I mean, hey, I think this is perfectly timed. It's not a surprise. They probably have been working on this for a while. There's definitely a few shows that made on popular text in other parts of the world that I think American audiences have found over the years that weren't made for American audiences originally. And depending on how good this is, it might become one of those. So maybe one of the US streaming services could get the rights, like HBO or Apple, if it is good, but we'll see. But yeah, I guess if you want more of the Odyssey, or, you know, on screen, then this is your next bet to go see it. Do you guys feel like you would want to watch this, or you just saw the movie, you don't want to see it? Oh, well, John didn't see the movie yet, so, like, oh, Liz, I think you're muted. Oh, or
Darn it. Yes. Again, just for me, there's too many shows. The problem is there's too many shows, not enough time. I can't. There's especially when it's like an epic like that. Like, I haven't watched any of the House of the Dragon. You know, I started For All Mankind. Will I ever get to finish it? Probably not. I mean, it's just, you know, there's too much, and it's just easier. Make it a film. Let me go, you know, use my 2 hours and wrap it up. You know what I mean? I don't have 12, 10. I don't have hours to dole out to one thing like that anymore. So unfortunately, I don't think that I would see it, which is a shame, because I hope it does really well.
Yeah. By the way, the moment in the movie where they talk about, like, who are the real sea peoples, which is obviously based on historical context, is one of the most brilliant moments in the whole movie. Because if you were a history nerd like me, I was like, hot damn, I was ready to, like, stand up and do my favorite, my Andre Brower impression from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It was a real Soylent Green is people moment.
You know, because again, Nolan didn't cheat it. That's what it was. That's there you go, John. There's the one. So yeah,
There's a long line at the bank.
Yeah. Damn.
You guys, this is why I love you. Oh, that's one of the best.
I thought it
scenes
would
in
have been
the
more
whole
along
show.
the lines of vindication.
It's so good.
Oh, that makes my day.
Yeah.
You just made my whole day.
And it's true, the
That's
EP
fair.
for that show is
But
only
Halo
from season 1 of
director.
Stranger Things. Yeah.
No.
Hey, hey, episodic director? I mean, are they talking
But
about
hey.
the show? I forget. Anyway.
Speaking of Tom Holland and Zendaya,
Yeah, let's wrap up
talk
the
about
Odyssey. Yeah.
the
for now.
MCU.
Mhm.
Great segue. Brilliant segue.
Yeah.
But, well, less about the movies, more about the comic side of things, because Marvel Comics, apparently, in 90 years that they have existed, this is a major standpoint. They are leaving New York and moving staffers to LA as part of a major overhaul. There was, I believe, new editor-in-chief, new people moving in. They're like, hey, we need to, cut shit down, overhaul it, and move it to LA. A lot of people are saying this is some kind of political stance. It's not. It's just
not,
straight
no.
up like everything is in LA right now. So it's
I know,
like,
but it's
and
a
the comic.
bummer.
It's and the thing is, it's a comic. Like the comics aren't really like a big part of it anymore. So it's like, let's just move it where the movies are, and then there you go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna explain because I read through. I mean, this is obviously an exclusive from the Hollywood Reporter, and then we'll switch over to the comicbookmovie.com that pulled a couple of the important details out for us, so we don't have to scroll through the whole thing. Basically, I'll to TLDR it for you guys. Recently, we talked about it on the show when it happened. Marvel changed they changed up the leadership of Marvel Comics because they are addressing finally. Kevin Feige knows this because Kevin Feige is in charge of all of Marvel pretty much, and so the comics, TV, animation, gaming, movies, they all fall under his purview. Have been for a few years now. Brad Vinderbaum recently became in charge of television, franchise, animation, and comics. So basically everything but the movies part of Marvel, Brad Vinderbaum is in charge of. And so Brad Vinderbaum works from Marvel Studios' headquarters that are part of the Disney headquarters in Burbank. And what they're doing here is they're trying to bring all their teams under one roof. And there's about 100 employees for Marvel in New York. They're being asked to relocate by next July. It's up to them. They're saying we're going to help facilitate this for you guys. That's what they say. I don't know what that means in terms of like financially. I hope they do help facilitate it. But the point is, DC left New York in 2015, their offices, DC Comics. So for Marvel Comics, do you hear that sound, by the way? Where is that? Is there a vacuum in the background?
I don't know, but I just muted Liz.
I think it's Liz. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Okay, never mind. It just... You muted yourself and it went away. Like, I'm just saying. Anyway, okay.
It's literally me in a room alone. There's nothing.
I don't understand.
I
There
don't know
was
what
like a
to tell you.
vacuum. It sounded like a vacuum cleaner. Do you have like a Roomba
I don't know
going on
what
in
to
there?
tell you. I'm tired of these accusations. I'm tired of them.
Anyway, okay.
Okay. It's
So-
not me, Dan, going crazy.
No, because I have to wear headphones so there's an echo. I'm wearing headphones. I'm alone in a freaking soundproof room. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to
Do you
tell
have like
you.
a white
It's
noise maker?
No,
White-
there's no. Listen, there's nothing. And you know what? Deal with it, you big babies.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't. Let's just keep going. So basically, they just brought in a new editor-in-chief. If you go to the comicbookmovie.com article, John, they just brought in a new editor-in-chief who used to work at Marvel a while ago, and now he's back to lead that. The current head editor-in-chief of Marvel, they're sending him to Japan to work on the manga side of Marvel, which they're kind of bringing up. But that's the editor-in-chief that most people don't really like because he's been running Marvel for the past decade or two, the comic side, and Marvel's kind of fallen behind. So Kevin Feige and Brad Vinderbaum kind of want to bring everything in one house so that the comic side is in line with what they're doing in movies, gaming, animation, and television. So I think it's a good thing in the long run. It is, historically speaking, like Marvel not in New York, but like pretty much half of their characters are based in New York. So spiritually it's not cool, but I think this is the right move from the business perspective. They
It would
did
be
send out a
funny
whole
if they,
memo to
did
explain
that
all
in the
this. Yeah.
comics, like New York gets like nuked, and then all the heroes actually have to go to LA. That would be funny.
Yeah. Now it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with all these changes, because I'm sure like they know that DC is dominating the comics world right now, and Marvel obviously want to I guess get back, in some way to compete. So yeah, they're trying to reinvigorate the comic book side of the company, as you see there. It's been in a creative slump for some time now. So yeah, like I still think that it's a lot to ask for 100 people. I know it's not like thousands, but 100 people to literally pick up everything, their families, their livelihoods, and move across the country. They have until next July, so it's not like they're saying do it in the next month's time. You got a year. So, and maybe that's enough time if somebody says I don't want to move, and then maybe you just stay here, and maybe you find a different job, and maybe they'll help facilitate that. So, but I mean, John, do you think CB Cebulski moving to the manga side of Marvel in Japan is a good idea? Because Steven Wacker is the one who's coming in to take over as editor-in-chief. Like, are you somebody who cares which way the editor-in-chief
I have no
goes?
idea who those two people are.
Okay, cool.
I've never seen this man before in my life.
The CB Cebulski is the guy who's been in charge of Marvel Comics for the last little while, with the Krakoan Age, the Ultimate Universe launch and everything, which basically started off well but ended on a bum note. So that guy's no longer going to be working as the editor-in-chief. They literally are just like, dude, we're sending you to Japan.
Get the fuck out of here.
Which, sure. So, I mean, if you're a fan of Marvel Comics, then this is a big deal, because it's going to probably mean a lot of changes coming up in what Marvel's comic initiatives are. And then also, Kevin Feige can I don't know, take an elevator down to the floor where those guys are going to be based in Burbank now, rather than flying across the country every time. So, or I don't know, getting on a Zoom call, I suppose. It's 2026 after all. So, anyway. So that's that. Marvel Comics moves out of New York finally, after 90 years. Which is insane to think about, but hey.
Or close to 90 years. I don't know if it's exactly
close to 90 years. Yeah. I think for the better in the long run. They're trying to make changes and see how it goes. Anyway, John, let's get to the Marvel.
Let's get to the movies, the thing that people actually care about, because nobody cares about comics anymore. Unless it's the absolute universe. But apparently there is a rumor that Long Walk star Cooper Hoffman said to be Marvel's top choice to play Cyclops. And no. Can we not have, I know it's just a rumor, but can we not have this happen?
I'm really upset about it, because he'll do a great job, and it's going to piss me right off, because Cyclops sucks. Cyclops sucks.
I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman's
I have my
son,
reasoning.
He's got the talent.
I have my reasoning.
Okay.
I'm just going to say this.
You don't want him to get pigeonholed.
As a fat man.
Well, they're going to make him lose weight. They're going to have him lose weight.
Doesn't have a lot of representation in Hollywood. As an ugly fat man,
Jonathan, absolutely not. Nope, I've got to stop you right there.
Is one of the few.
Neither one of you are ugly. First of all, neither one of you are ugly.
Seth Rogen's everywhere.
Let's start with that. Neither one of you are unattractive.
We don't have.
Thank you, Liz.
Fat people don't have a lot of representation in Hollywood. We have Jack Black and Paul Walter Hauser, and that's kind of it. Cooper Hoffman, he's not obese, but he's a bit of a chonker. He's got a little bit of chub.
They're gonna turn him up.
Shirtless. He kind of gets his shirt ripped off in long.
They're gonna give him the Kumail treatment.
I was gonna say, did you see?
I don't want
Kumail Nanjiani lately.
It's more of like a Chris Pratt treatment, because he was a chonker.
Yes,
and then
they're gonna give him a Chris. Yes, they're gonna give him the Pratt
after the first movie. Yeah,
they are going to give him the Pratt. But again, I like him. I don't want him to get pigeonholed into Marvel films.
Too.
I also don't want him to play a dickhead like Cyclops, because Cyclops fucking sucks.
Well, but
he sucks. And then all the comments are gonna say, "Hey, we don't read comics. You just fucking don't know what you're talking about." Cyclops is a dick. In comics and outside of comics, he's a dick. All right, shut the fuck up.
Well, I think a fresh reimagining of the character is probably worth it. And if you go down in this article, John, they do say there's probably other options as well, depending on which scooper
and this is coming
believe.
From my time to shine, but it's just as a big guy, I want my big men. Can I have my big men, please?
I mean, honestly,
he's a nice chonker. We love him for that. He's healthy. He's not one of these skinny bitches over here. We appreciate that. Don't void my boy, and then and then once you hump him and dump him, you leave him on the side of the road, and he's gonna have no career outside of Marvel, like every other fucking Marvel star. So you know what? Just leave this wonderful man alone. Let him have a great career.
We've got him, and we've got the young Gandolfini, and there's nothing wrong with either of them.
Beautiful, and
leave
they're
their beautiful body types the way they are.
Well, technically, Well, Gandolfini already is part of the MCU, so that train has sailed.
That's true.
That train has sailed. That train has left the station. So like that's that's a lost cause.
But they didn't give him the Pratt treatment.
We don't. We don't need another. We don't need another chonker getting roided out. We don't need that.
I do agree that to what he's saying, Kevin, that they need big names to draw an audience for the X-Men movie, sure, but I think they're gonna have actors and bigger name actors for some of the other roles. I think for Cyclops it's fine. I honestly don't have a problem with this. Let's just see what they do with it, because for all we know, they're not gonna roid him up if they don't want to. Because like,
and also
it's not
Punisher
like
only
you need to see
kills
a shirtless
bad guys,
Cyclops
so
anyway.
I don't understand what you're talking about with morals here.
Yeah,
he only kills bad guys.
Going. Again, these are rumors right now. Nothing is confirmed.
Another rumor.
Maybe in a few days we'll know. But
and by the way, typo,
I'm fine with this.
Guys, come on, man. Like, this is your headline. At least like in the article, that's fine. But this is your fucking headline, dude.
Yeah,
fucking edit your shit. This is why nobody takes you seriously. Fuck. Goddamn, guys. Anyway, so apparently Adam Driver is reportedly playing MCU's Mr. Sinister, not Magneto. And updates on some other people.
Yeah, this was
honestly, I coming from. Like, I don't care who he plays.
Yeah,
just like get him in the fucking get him as one. He has a great career, so if his career gets nuked, it's not too bad.
Now this is coming from APOC Horseman, who,
which
if you read, he was like, "Oh, sorry guys, I made a mistake. It's not Magneto that Kylo Ren or Adam Driver is gonna play. It's gonna be Mr. Sinister, which again, he's playing another villain. So like, cool, but so." Take it with a grain of salt, because again, this guy just like kind of walked back. He was the one who was saying, "Oh yeah, he is playing Magneto," and then 2 days later he turns around and says, "Oh no, sorry, my bad." So I mean, look, we all think there might be a cast reveal at this year's Comic-Con. A lot of us wanted it last year. Whether it happens in a week or like a week from this Saturday, we'll know for sure in a few days' time.
APOC Horseman used to work for Nexus Point News, so that's interesting. And then kind of reiterating, Bill Skarsgård is indeed one of the actors among a handful for the mix of Xavier, which is like, no, please.
We did talk about that the other
day. He's good, but like, he's not Xavier. And then Cooper Hoffman for Cyclops. I don't like
another
that.
name for Scott Summers that's brought up is Nicholas Alexander Chavez, but My Time to Shine.
No idea
not
who that
in
is.
Consideration.
But that's good. That's good. I don't know who the fuck he is. He's an unknown. I want that. I don't want Cooper Hoffman, who's known and a nepo baby.
He would be a great Cyclops actually. If you look him up, John, he would be the perfect Cyclops. To be fair, he really.
And
would.
I also like how they're like. APOC Horseman said Marvel Studios is down to a few choices for Emma Frost. And thank the Lord in heaven, Sydney Sweeney is not one of them. Guys, remember, just because she has a blonde and has big tatas does not mean she should be Emma Frost. I'm just saying.
We did Fancast, and she was on the thumbnail for that episode of Fancast Friday.
Yeah, but hey, we got to get the Gooners in the chat.
No,
okay?
hey,
we gotta get them in here.
You gotta play the game to win the game. Yeah, you gotta play the game to win the game. Anyway, it would be funny if they're like, okay, we're gonna cast Sydney Sweeney as Emma Frost, and then they cast Millie Alcock just to get the haters mad. So Jack
which
Champion
honestly,
would be a good Cyclops.
She would be too young,
but
like 10 years from now, honestly, I think Millie Alcock could actually do it. But that's just me. Anyway,
let's keep going.
And no, it's not because I just want to see her in Emma Frost's wardrobe. Anyway,
I think it should be Anna Camp myself for Emma Frost.
Where's Jalen when you need him?
The Odin Force, his most powerful form yet. What the fuck is this? Okay, is it just a ripoff of the Speed Force?
Okay, so basically, so let me explain the setup here.
Odin power,
this is
man.
So that trailer, the teaser trailer's clue that they released when he's like, I pray to ask the All Fathers to lend me the power that I need to fight this one last battle and then come back to my, or whatever he said. I'm paraphrasing at this point, but basically that whole speech, if you read it closely, it kind of implies that he's asking for the All Fathers or Odin and Valhalla to give him or lend him the Odin Force. Now, if you scroll down in this article, John, in the comics, Odin Force is portrayed in like this yellow color, if like with Anthony Hopkins in some of his previous posters for his, if you go to that tweet down there,
his eye.
Like you can see, like they usually had the yellow motif with his posters for the movies that he was a part of until his character, dies in the movies.
Whoa, spoiler.
Okay. So if you look at the new, I think we still have that. I'm gonna see if I can find it. The new, it's right there, the zoomed in version of it. But remember they put out that concept art for Avengers Doomsday. In that concept art,
how can we forget?
Yeah. So you see Chris Hemsworth, his Thor with the what Stormbreaker. I always want to call it Godhammer. I'm like, that's not it, but anyway.
What are you, the god of hammers? Anyway.
Great line. Honestly, that I was like, and then that was right before the music hits in that film. I'm like, fuck yeah, like yeah. What are you, the god of hammers? Like, and then it's because anyway. I'm sorry. Now I'm just like nerding out about that again because let's be honest, that was a great movie, John. Even though you don't like Ragnarok as much, I think Ragnarok was a great film.
I mean, Ragnarok is not good, but like I'll take it over Love and Thunder. Like, you know, like if someone put a gun to my head, well, I'd say pull the trigger. But if it's like I don't have that option, then I'll go with Ragnarok. But you know,
cool. Well, so I don't know if do we have that, by the way? I just want to you do you have it up? Am I looking at the wrong thing? The concept art.
The concept art. It's right here.
Okay, cool. Yep. So you have the zoomed in version. Got it. Yeah. So basically, sorry. Yeah, I'm going off concept. Dude, we all go off topic. Calm down, Caleb. Anyway, this is the widescreen version of it. So you see how the lightning for the again, what is it? It's not Mjolnir. Not
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker.
Bro, you just said it.
I know. I just said
it. Tattoo it to your face.
Thank you. But Stormbreaker has usually it's got blue lightning or blue whitish lightning. It's got yellow. So basically the implication is like, are they secretly giving? Because Marvel with like all they've done with the other stuff, John, like with like we eventually finally got the payoff of yes, Cap is worthy of Mjolnir. So would you be surprised if they give Thor the Odin Force in this movie with what they're hinting at here? Maybe it's right in our face and we're just not seeing it.
Maybe it's kind of pushing it, but like if we have, I mean, that is true. We haven't seen him with the yellow lightning, but maybe it's just a choice. I don't know, but that could definitely be the case. Like, I don't really know much about it. Again, like Marvel comics, I'm a little bit more out of my depth. I'm more so known about DC comics, but Marvel comics, I know a little bit, but just not a lot. So I don't know anything about Odin Force stuff. So yeah. But yeah, that could definitely be the case.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I mean, that's basically what they were trying to get at in this, and I feel like the clues are there. So I'm willing to believe it. Marvel has done, this kind of thing before many a times, and it would be good fan service. The only thing I would wonder is, you don't give Thor the Odin Force unless Thor is not long for this role, because I feel like one of maybe only a couple of things they haven't done yet with Thor in the MCU. So it does make you wonder, is this it for him? Because I'm like, but also apparently in the trailer, like, he throws Stormbreaker at Doom, and Doom just kind of stops it, almost like Hela stopped Mjolnir and shattered.
Yeah, just keep redoing those like classic moments, and maybe
so
they'll trick enough suckers into thinking it's an actually good movie when it's not.
I'm just like thinking about it, like it would be kind of disappointing if he gets the Odin Force and still gets defeated, unless this is more of a give me Thanos moment. But I guess he still lost that one too, so that's true. So. Which, hey, again, to your point, John, maybe they're doing it up again. So, it repeats. The plot points repeat.
It's like it rhymes.
History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Anyway.
Yeah. But apparently, we do have a little bit more in depth. We've been getting a few looks at the Midnight Universe, which is essentially Marvel's ripoff of their horror line, which is very much like body horror kind of stuff, which I'm like kind of intrigued with. So when I get into the Absolute Universe, I'll maybe eventually give this to read. I don't know. But yeah, they look, because we did get a look see at the Fantastic Four, but we didn't get a look at any of the other ones. But yeah, so it seems like with all of this, while the stories found inside the Midnight series may be unpredictable, it'll be easier than ever before for fans to pick out the cover of their choice. So there's like variant covers you can choose from and all that stuff. So this is...
Oh, yeah, they're definitely doing the whole Absolute Universe thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this looks like Black Cat, which is... He definitely got some Pet Sematary vibes with that cat. Yep. And then you got a little bit of Spider-Man, which is 100% a reference to The Fly. This is like so fucking obvious. Definitely The Fly.
Very obvious.
Love that. I don't know if this is specifically Pet Sematary, but like maybe the cover is a reference to something, because this is like clear fucking reference to the Fly.
No, I think both of them are. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
This might be a reference to something, but this kind of, is giving almost like martial artist kind of vibes because you know the shirtless and the fingerless gloves, which are not straight, by the way. Thanks, Pearlmania 500. But yeah, this is definitely looking really cool. And then we got the X-Men here, which is definitely this definitely has some like Cenobite Pinhead kind of vibes, like definitely like a little bit of Videodrome as well.
I see it. Yeah, I see it. Yep.
But you have like old Cyclops, which is like graying and stuff like that, which is definitely really cool. This is an obvious reference to Fright Night. But yeah, I really like this as well. We got Gambit looking like a vampire, which is fucking cool, bro. Holy shit, that's awesome. And then you have like Fantastic Four, like again, like you have Mr. Fantastic looking like a fucking tumor, which is great. That's cool. Then again, so it seems like they're going for more of like what Josh Trank tried to do with the Fantastic Four, like make them more body horror, but that idea never really got into that.
Nope.
So at least we're getting it with this. This definitely seems like,
Fox proceed out of that one.
Zombie-esque, maybe like Last of Us a little bit. And we this was the one we saw, back.
Oh, this is very absolute, Fantastic Four. That's
So, we also like the muscles and the tendons and all that. So that's awesome. And then zoom in. We'll zoom into this.
Right there. There's the shot.
There's the shot right there. But yeah, so we have Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Spooderman, which definitely intriguing.
I mean, look, this feels a little gimmicky just looking at the covers, but I mean, you can only judge, you can't judge a book by its cover, literally. But to Chimera's point, I hope it's a good story, because even if it is on the surface, like looking like they're just doing absolute universe their way, as long as they write good stories, then they can back up, like the hype that they're promising. So other than that, sure, let's see what it turns into, John. Interesting stuff. It's one of those things where we're gonna find out with all the changes happening at Marvel, like if this thing holds up, if it holds any water, then maybe we'll keep going with it. Otherwise, I'm sure they'll cancel it and start over. So yeah, it is, Chuck. It feels like Midnight is Marvel's answer to the absolute universe, because why not? Good night to you, Brogu. We'll see you.
Night, Brogu. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, thank you for
Good
joining
night,
us.
my dear.
Yeah. Can't judge a book by its cover unless it's falling apart. Well, Caleb, it was a metaphor. But now, Liz, it's time for your lady boner to re-erect itself, because we gotta talk about John Bernthal. There you go.
I'm always down to clown.
This one, John.
But apparently Daredevil Born Again star John Bernthal reveals why he walked away from pre-Overhaul season 1. Probably because it sucked ass. I'm gonna take a wild guess. That's probably why it was.
Devastatingly wonderful good looks aside, John Bernthal is an actor's actor. I mean, we have not seen the likes of someone like him in quite some time. He is really passionate. He's really devoted. He sticks to his guns, and he's not gonna just perform some little song and dance for any amount of money. And if he doesn't believe in the project,
something.
If he doesn't believe in the writing,
do nothing for you unless it.
If he doesn't believe in the character development, he's not going to be a part of it. So, I mean, there's just so many reasons to love this man, but girl, come on now.
But this is what he had to say. I didn't like what they had for Frank at all. Ultimately, they gave me something that they let me rework and rewrite, and they aired that. It worked for them. 5 years of negotiating and navigating of not doing a lighter version that maybe they wanted. I insisted that I had to be the creative force behind it. Frank is purpose driven, mission driven, leave me the fuck alone. And I love when there are little cracks in that. He's like, why are you being a dick to her? Don't do that. That's what I do. That's what I do to see himself in this and then be a little bit protective. You're trying to do the whole dark thing. Don't do that shit. I do that shit. It's not fun. Do your shit. So much shit. I love that. Really buy that.
Hey, wait, Tony's here. Hey, Tony.
Hey, my love.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, just a lady boner day for me.
Beat me to it, John. Beat me to it.
Boner.
Anyway,
cool.
So yeah,
won't be the
last
time we
John
see
Bernthal's like,
John
I'm not
Bernthal
reading
on the
your
show.
sucky garbage, and then Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are like, yeah, this sucks ass. Fucking change this shit, and they're like, all right, okay, I guess we got to change it and actually make it good. Wow, we actually have to try now. That's crazy, bro.
Wait, John, did you say Charlie Cox? sorry. Now that's just now we're just getting this. Just
I've met him as well, so by all means.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
But
well,
now
let's
we're
move
moving.
on.
Speaking of Midnight Spider-Man, now we're going on to Spider-Man specific stuff. And here we are. So apparently,
freshly showered with a snack.
In a leaked clip from the upcoming trailer, Savage Hulk speaks, which like shouldn't be that much of a crazy thing considering we've heard Hulk speak like I think in Thor Ragnarok. Hello.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, it's been. I think the idea is that we went from that to we got Smart Hulk and everything, but now we're finally getting, because it does confirm that this is like the Hulk. Like it's not like some.
Apparently, we're getting a new trailer tomorrow, which makes sense because that would be exactly 2 weeks away, and that seems like a final trailer.
Liz, did you see the trailer before the Odyssey? Because they're saying this is playing ahead of some movies, even like this week. Like in the final trailer is playing in theaters.
Yes, we did get the trailer prior to. But I don't think it was a new one.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was one I had
before,
seen.
Like
Hulk has absolutely talked before.
No, but it's about like it's Hulk talking, not like Smart Hulk. Like it's not.
No. Remember Thor Ragnarok? He was like talking
and
to
Avengers
Thor.
Doomsday as well.
I know. No. I'm not saying it's happened.
Not
Not happened.
Endgame. Excuse me.
No, but it wasn't. But Liz, that's the thing. In Endgame, it was Professor Hulk. So it was like a combination. The idea
No. When they did the flashback to the tower with Loki, and he had to take the stairs. Hulk don't like stairs. That was a whole thing. Stairs.
Okay, the flashback. Babe. Okay, but I'm saying in like
first Avengers, beauty god, like
right.
Yeah, no. Again, no. I don't think it's like that. Hulk speaks. I think
absolutely
the idea is that it's the Hulk that we all want is back. The Savage Hulk is back. It's not like it's sharing headspace with Bruce Banner because basically what he says is like I'm assuming they only gave us one of the 2 lines. It's like no Banner, only Hulk, and we only get in this trailer. Somebody did a camera rip of the trailer which is playing in theaters, which I assume we were gonna get this for reals online soon. You hear Hulk saying only Hulk. That's what it is. So that's what it's referencing. So that battle, by the way, feels like it's really brutal and probably going to be the 3rd act of the movie. So yeah, I'm sure we'll get a better version of this. By the way, it's kind of funny at the end of this trailer. Is this the one you saw, Liz, where like at the end Spider-Man shows up in the apartment while Ned is on the Spider Tracker app?
No, actually, I think it was even the trailer that came out prior to that one. Yeah, so very different.
So this might be playing in some markets and maybe not in others, and that might be the reason why. But okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, if you guys see that trailer, let us know, and obviously we'll hopefully be getting it maybe as early as this time tomorrow. So, yeah. Anyway, John, let's keep going. Hey, look, more John Bernthal. Got a lot of that today, just for Liz.
Anyway.
All right.
So, a new rumor has been posted by the Facebook page Hero Today. They claim that during the final act of Spider-Man Brand New Day, the Hulk will rampage through New York City, and Spider-Man the Punisher will set out to stop him. Obviously, this confrontation has been known for a long time now, but it wasn't really made clear that this would be the final fight of the movie. For example, we could have had maybe a showdown with Sadie Sink's character, or even the other big set piece that has been shown, Spider-Man versus the Head. Sorry. The biggest piece of info for their post, however, says that Frank Castle is going to go toe-to-toe with the Jay Giant. He'll suit up as the Punisher War Machine. Punisher will use an Iron Man suit. Apparently Punisher will use an Iron Man suit in the finale.
Yeah. The reason why is because again, this source for this has never broken a scoop before, so trust them with the big grain of salt. But the idea here is in the events of the previous Spider-Man movie, like the villains broke out of Cappy's apartment in New York City, and apparently a bunch of people got a hold of some Stark tech, and apparently they implied that the Punisher got a hold of some Stark tech and builds his own version of the Iron Man armor, which then becomes the Punisher.
So fucking stupid. Like, and also I will say it is hilarious considering like Riri Williams literally means even less when a fucking army veteran with no engineering training whatsoever can like hack an Iron Man suit and make one for himself. So just like making Riri just even worse than she already is, at least in the MCU. In the comics she's fine, but like in the MCU she's like, wow, you're even more useless than we thought. So there's that too. But I
Yeah.
guess, like, I mean, these Spider-Man movies just can't get away from fucking Iron Man, no matter what they fucking do. So here we
Yeah.
are.
Hey, Luis. Oh, you know what? Sorry, Luis. We'll talk to you later. Anyway, let's keep going. We gotta get into more stuff. I gotta read these things before I put them on screen.
Yeah, no shit.
Anyway, more John
But
Bernthal, Liz. Yeah.
anyway, Spider-Man Brand New Day star John Bernthal drops a potentially major spoiler for the movie. So he was just talking about how he recently did an ADR session for Spider-Man Brand New Day with both Spider-Man and Frank Castle in the hospital. It's so funny because I just did ADR, and I got a scene of me waking up when you're in the hospital. I'm like, what's going on with that? It was so bad. Why am I waking up like that? You know what I did? I really went to sleep. The scene's great. To wake up, no bueno. So I generally watched the movie and went, that's a great take. I'm not just saying that. Suggesting only Bernthal was unhappy with his performance, which is a pretty common trait with perfectionist actors. So
Yeah, he
so
definitely seems to
apparently,
be.
John Bernthal might be, Punisher might be waking up in a hospital, so he might die, but then it looks like he dies.
It looks like, because we know at this point we're basically gonna get like the final fight is gonna be the Hulk, then Punisher and Spider-Man, and yeah, it does look like they're gonna take quite the beating. I mean, hey.
Yeah, they'll save the day with muscle memory from that.
Hey, Emo Nerd Girl, how you doing? You missed the Odyssey review from earlier. No spoilers though. If you want to go back and watch it.
Let me tell you something. I hate how I acted in this scene, so I'm doing it again.
Dude, he says that he considers himself a soldier for his directors, which we'll talk about later in the show. This is not the last of John Bernthal.
It's a John Bernthal kind of night.
Yes, it is.
But apparently the last bit of, MCU related talk is Spider-Man Brand New Day post-credit scene count and what it sets up revealed, apparently coming from Cryptic 4K Qual, who's a decent scooper. Oh my god, that would be the worst. With a near, I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say near impeccable, but like he's pretty good. He's better than someone like My Time to Shine. So
yeah.
According to the Insider, Spider-Man Brand New Day has only one post-credit scene, and it sets up Avengers Doomsday. That's all we have for now. But a stinger that ties into the Avengers movie makes sense. The Russo brothers shot post-credit scenes for Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Step, so we can't help but wonder whether that's the case here too. But Tom Holland hasn't been confirmed for Avengers Doomsday, so this scene may add him to the cast or even play out in a way that removes him from the playing field. Today, with Tobey Maguire's web slinger rumored to appear in the movie. Perhaps he'll even make a surprise appearance in the extra scene that sets up the supposed clash with Deadpool and Wolverine. So
basically, to TLDR all of this, they're saying there's only one post-credit scene in the movie.
There can be only one,
and it's gonna directly tie into Avengers Doomsday, which would obviously, like, the last 2 or 3 Marvel movies have all done that. And in fact, we know that at least a couple of those scenes were shot by the Russo brothers. So whether that means that it's gonna connect Spider-Man to the story of Doomsday or not, that's something we don't know yet. But I mean, Liz, would you be surprised that the Russo brothers shoot another post-credit scene that ends up at the end of this movie? Because we don't know Spider-Man's in the film, but whatever we're getting at the end of the film might be.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, they deliver time and time again. So yeah, it would make sense. I mean, for continuity's sake, I love me some good continuity. But we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least we know that there's one. I mean, unless that changes by the time the movie comes out, which sometimes it happens. But hey, one post-credit scene, we'll sit through it. I mean, dude, this is the one thing I noticed. I don't know, Liz, if you saw this or your theater did this too. When the Odyssey ended and the lights came on, everybody was like, "All right, getting up, going out," because we know there's no end credit scene because Christopher Nolan, I don't think, has ever really done one.
And also, Marvel, why would he for this in general? Well, but why would he?
Right.
We're not going to have a sequel.
No, it's just Samuel L. Jackson just goes up to Odysseus and is like, "You're part of a bigger universe, and you just don't know it yet." And then it's just like, Odysseus will return in Avengers Doomsday.
I love it. Yeah.
or like,
just becomes dust.
Or like his story continues, ellipses, and then
and then
anyway, we'll. Sanju's saying, will they reveal Sadie Singh's character? I'm not gonna say. I don't think they will. but the movie will be out by then, so we
when
might.
I was gonna ask when specifically does
Actually, no,
Comic-Con start?
San Diego Comic-Con is this upcoming week, so
Yeah, I didn't think it would be out.
the movie wouldn't be
before.
out yet. But I don't
No,
know
it
if they're gonna
wouldn't be
give it
out
away. If they've been saving it this long, they can hold
No.
on to it for a few more days.
By the
so-
way, guys, that character that everyone's going crazy about, we're gonna reveal it now instead of just watching
yeah,
the movie.
like watch the movie.
kind of like what Super Mario Galaxy did with Star
Yeah.
Fox. Oopsie
Dude,
daisies. but,
They blue-face denied that Toby and Andrew were in the last movie until the movie came out, even though the pictures were out on the internet. So I don't think they're
I
giving
still
away
think
Sam's
Andrew
interest yet.
Garfield deserved that an Oscar for that performance of denying being.
I
inspired
know,
by
not the
Nolan.
movie. It's like we're talking about practice, not the movie, the interview, not the movie. That would have been a great opportunity for that. Anyway, let's do quick hits.
Anyway, let's make it a little bit louder.
I feel like we're
People
sitting next to a highway. I'm not gonna say anything. It's fine.
Anyway, Lady Boner time. John Bernthal on Odyssey battles, counting Spider-Man, and always going big. Embarrass the fuck
This just
out
took
of
a long
yourself.
time. Yeah, Liz, he said that he considers himself a soldier for his directors.
He is.
He is.
Again, so listen, so you guys, he's on the Smartless podcast. He talks very much about the start of his career. He started acting in Moscow in Russia. He lived there for about 3 years. That's just because someone said, hey, I think there's a good opportunity for you and you should probably go check this out. And like I said, he is an actor's actor. We have not seen the likes of his dedication, of his willpower, of his passion. We've not seen a real Hollywood actor like this in a really, really long time. I would almost say since Tom Cruise, even he's at that level as far as wanting to deliver only the best. Has he been in some duds like any actor has? Sure. But he certainly hasn't been the contributing factor to those duds. You know what I mean? In this article, he even talks about in the scene in the Odyssey where they are there's the soldiers are waiting in the Trojan horse. It's partially submerged in water. He drew the short straw and he was at the bottom of the group and he was, neck deep in water and it was supposed to be heated. It wasn't. He was shivering. Chris Nolan was going to pull him out and he was like, "You're not going to break me, Chris. You're not going to break me." And even the other actors said the same thing. Matt Damon was like, he set the tone and none of us were able to like phone anything in. You know what I mean? That's just John. That's just John. John goes to 100 and he expects everybody else there to be there with him. And if you're not, well, you're going to get left behind.
This is Titanic. Get out of here. Give me the cold water, baby.
So, I mean, listen, the man delivers time and time again. I also appreciate in this article, too, he does actually address some of this whole racial bullshit that people keep slinging. And at one point, he's like, how can you judge fuck all when you haven't even seen the film? Like, that's his biggest gripe. Like, he's like, you're really that heated just about the color of somebody's skin, and that's all that it takes for you to tell them that they're not right for a role? He's like, go fuck yourself. He said Lupita was the only person that was right for that role. I should say he specifies Lupita because she plays his wife in the film, so that's why he's referring to her specifically. But this man, I mean, you want to talk about an onion? He has got layers, baby. He has got layers. I'd call him a parfait because he is a tasty treat. But you guys,
he's like an ogre or an onion. They have layers.
I mean, but again, I said to Walton Goggins when I met him that watching his performances makes me realize that there's no way I could ever be an actor. I could never do what he does. John Bernthal is the same thing. I mean, if you watch him, if you listen to the way that he speaks about the various projects that he's been in.
Perfect timing.
Love it.
Literally, your camera stopped when John Bernthal came on screen. So I thought you just stopped talking, be like, hello.
Take a moment. Let's everybody pause. That's a production shot for his for when he was on Broadway with Dog Day Afternoon, which has now ended its run. But
you saw him on the theater stage too. Yeah, I
did. Him and Eben Moss Backrop. Yeah.
If you didn't get a chance to see it, go watch Gary on Hulu or whatever. That was the name of the show, right?
Yep. And they both wrote that. And they both co-wrote that together. John and Eben. But also, if you didn't watch the Punisher short film or whatever we're calling it, feature film, what have you, One Last Kill. But if you haven't seen that, go see that as well. I mean, we're talking peak Bernthal in that bad boy. So yeah, it's just, he is an actor's actor. He sets the bar, and I hope he inspires a lot of actors coming up behind him, because realistically, you could learn so much from him and his dedication. And sometimes he's a little nutty about it, but it clearly pays off, because I mean, it's the year of Bernthal right now, you know. So
yeah,
but you know what it could also be? It could also be the year of Andrew, because apparently Andrew Garfield is leading an uprising in The Uprising.
This trailer is awesome. I'm excited for this
first
movie.
trailer for Paul Greengrass's focus features
So
drama
good.
on 14th century peasant rebellion. And this is looking good. You know, if all the haters hate the Odyssey so damn much and want a historically accurate film, maybe kind of sorta, then maybe they'll enjoy this. I don't know, but it looks pretty damn good. I love Andrew Garfield. Paul Greengrass is certainly a director, so, you know, hopefully we can get something really good out of this as well, because this looks pretty epic. It looks pretty epic.
I mean, I saw this, and it actually looks a lot of fun, even though in real life, this all ended with, like, literally, they were like, okay, we'll give you some concessions, and then, like, you know, the thing died down, and they brutally repressed the rebellion, so unfortunately, it's a tragedy in real life, but I'm sure the movie is going to be very inspirational, so.
Sure. But yeah. Next up, Jenna Ortega and Rose Byrne are getting nasty for Warner Brothers' Clockwork and Lucky Chap. Apparently, they are going to be in a film not that kind of nasty, but Nasty was a 2024 Blacklist screenplay by Isabella Jarrett. What? And it reps the scribe's first script tale. Nasty Santa Rosa, prestigious athlete who is battling for a spot on the Olympics gymnastics team. However, she must overcome her biggest opponent, her coach. So, I don't know. That sounds possibly interesting, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, Blacklist, obviously, you know what the Blacklist is, right? It's some of the best unproduced screenplays. Yeah, so, yeah, cool. I mean, it's, again, an unknown talent getting their script picked up. And, I mean, this is the kind of thing that Clockwork was made for, so good. Can't wait.
Yep. Next up. G.I. Joe, Danny McBride is apparently now going to direct the upcoming film adaptation of comic, animated series, action figures, whatever came first. Apparently Chris Pratt, because of course Chris Pratt and Walton Goggins reportedly eyed to star. So that's maybe interesting. I don't know. But yeah, he was talking about it here. Because I literally just saw this earlier today, and even though he doesn't mention the directing thing here, he does mention about how much he loves G.I. Joe, how much, you know, he wants to do this adaptation. He wanted to do a Dreadnoughts film, but they're like, hey, we're gonna try and do a cinematic universe, because why not? Why not fucking attempt that again? And so he's like, hey, they were like, hey, why don't you do G.I. Joe? And he's like, all right, I'll fucking do G.I. Joe. That sounds awesome. So, so he and two of his writing partners from Righteous Gemstones, they sat down, wrote a script, and there was apparently an arc in the comics or in the animated series where they, you know, there's a town called Springfield where it's entirely invaded by Cobra, and it takes place in this town, and it's going to be like a smaller film. So, honestly, I get it. Danny McBride, he kind of ruined the Halloween franchise a little bit, but considering as I am a man who does not give a flying fucking shit about G.I. Joe, this has me curious.
So we've been following this for a few days now. We went from seeing that he was going to write it to direct it, and then also they had Chris Hemsworth attached, and then apparently he's leaving, and then they said that Bradley Cooper was being eyed, so I don't know if Chris Pratt is now the guy who's going to lead the movie, or if they're going to have Chris Pratt and Bradley Cooper, so that's interesting. But certainly, I mean, Paramount also has a couple of other ideas for G.I. Joe in the works. This is good.
Yeah, they want to do the G.I. Joe X Transformers crossover, so yeah.
I don't feel like Bradley Cooper's right for something like that, but hey, I don't.
I mean, he did American Sniper. I mean, he was.
I mean, I'll also watch Bradley Cooper all day. That's true. And God, he was so good in the A-Team. His face, he was perfect for that. Oof, good times. Yeah. Anyway, sure.
That's
he
true,
can be a G.I.
but
Joe.
I'm just saying.
Sure.
Well, I know a lot. He gets a lot of blame because he's like a comedy guy, and he was put on this like horror franchise. So it's like,
yeah, but you guys have to understand, comedians are like the most serious people in the whole wide world. Like,
no, I know.
They're really good. And I'm not saying you, John. I'm saying the people watching. Like comedians are always so vastly underrated. Like you guys, like you don't appreciate their stuff because you want them to be on all the time. But they're probably like the deepest, most like have the broadest range of emotional, range. I should say.
Yes, we do.
Unfortunately. Yeah, that was upsetting, but thank you.
Well,
it was
thanks,
peak
Geeky
cinema.
guy.
You're
10
darn
out of 10.
right.
Cinema.
Thank you.
There you
Peak
go.
cinema.
Odyssey.
Rated cinema.
Indeed. But well, again, I'm not agreeing with this. I am not the man who thinks it. I am just the messenger. A lot of people think he ruined it. He's an idiot. He sucks. He's the worst. I don't love Danny McBride's comedy, but I also don't hate it. I don't think it's terrible. It's just kind of not really for me most of the time. Although I am curious about Righteous Gemstones now that it's over. I'm curious to watch it. Plus, it's got our boy the Rizzler in it. So, I am, and Walton Goggins, of course. So, I'm curious about Righteous Gemstones. I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Righteous Gemstones is brilliant. The only problem that I had with it is they rushed the last season, but
that
brilliant.
happens sometimes, though.
And I've met Walton Goggins, who's on that show, but I've also interviewed one of the members of the cast on my podcast, so you can always check that out.
Yeah. So I'm like curious about this. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I need to see it tomorrow. Like, oh no, this is gonna sound the worst thing ever. I'm curious. You have my curiosity, but you don't have my attention just yet, Danny McBride. You have my curiosity. So that's it. Anyway, we spent too much time on this. Speaking of Danny's, Danny Boyle's Inc. to open Venice Film Festival. So that I'm curious about because I think he did a pretty good job with 28 Years Later, his last film. So I'm curious about this one.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Plus Jack O'Connell is,
and I love
the
Jack
Scream King
O'Connell
right now.
Oh, baby.
Is he Lady Boner level? Okay, I was gonna ask
He
before
is.
doing the sound
Nope.
effect.
He is.
I knew the answer. That's why I just went ahead and there you go.
Honestly, he was hot in 28 Days. He truly was. But anyway. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, let's just move along. Cryptic update from Todd McFarlane. Could we finally be getting Spawn in production? No. Short answer, no. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
And
Todd,
Blade's coming out the week after.
This is a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah. It ends with, wow, okay, cool, so we'll see. We'll see.
No, there's a
You've been
photo.
saying
No,
that
John.
for fucking 15
John,
years,
go down. Go down for a second. There's a photo, and that's the thing that he posted. Something's coming.
Yeah, something is coming. You know what else is coming? Me later tonight, all right? And that
Yeah,
doesn't fucking
John.
mean jack shit, all right?
Boners for
Holy
everybody,
fuck,
babe.
bro.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, we've talked about lady boners enough. Why not talk about real boners? Anyway.
Boners for everyone. Boners are universal.
Hey, dude, John, Lady Boner is a biologically true story. Just saying.
It is.
No, I know.
It's not just.
I know.
Okay, I'm just want to clarify in case you.
But, yeah, it's just like.
Anyone needs
would
an
it be
anatomy
cool?
lesson.
Here's the thing. Would it be
Hey.
cool to see Spawn again? Absolutely. And would it be cool to have Jamie Foxx play him, who has been interested in the role? Yes. Do I think we're gonna get it? Fuck no. Because we've waited. When did he start promising this shit? Like fucking 15 years ago at this point? Like, bro, it's probably not gonna happen.
29 years, 3 decades. Yeah.
Well, since the original movie, but he's been talking about a reboot specifically for 15-ish years. Caleb, don't say that because that's oh boy.
No, it's
no.
like Spawn or
We're
Blade. It's Spawn or Blade at this
We're just
point,
gonna move
honestly.
past this now. Let's just move past.
I don't know
it.
what's
Let's-
coming first. I would say neither at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's move past it, John.
yeah.
Let's move past it.
But let's move past to another super anti-hero man. Wolverine, not that Wolverine. The Insomniac Wolverine.
Hugh
Logan ain't no
Jackman.
hero, an action-packed
Oh,
teaser
no, okay.
revealing Lady Deathstrike first look.
Right.
Yes. Cool. I don't know. I'm never gonna.
Yeah,
play
I
it 'cause
saw
don't
this
have a
trailer.
PS5, and
Okay,
I'm not
I
buying
don't
one.
play
It's fuck
games, so.
PlayStation.
Okay,
Yeah.
I watched this trailer. Apparently, they're playing this ahead of the Odyssey in some movie theater, so you can watch it in a movie theater. The trailer looks okay. I always hate the voice work in some of these because it's a little overdone. But the action looks nice. It's definitely obviously very bloody. It feels a little like it doesn't stand out from the crowd, but you know what? Sure, why not? Let's see if this game becomes a hit or not. It was a decent trailer. Didn't really give me a whole lot other than the animation looks standard, and I wasn't too impressed by the voiceover. So
yeah. But Avengers Doomsday star Tom Hiddleston says the movie doesn't undo Loki season 2 development. Cool. Not like we care, but sure.
I also met him and he's delightful.
He said basically like
To be
where
fair,
we
Liz,
left off.
have you ever met someone and they've been a huge, gigantic asshole? That's what I want to know.
Not huge, gigantic asshole, but I have had a couple of disappointments, yes. And I've mentioned
Don't
that on
always
the
meet
show.
your heroes, but sometimes. He did say that basically where they left off the character in season 2, they're not going to retcon it from Loki, which I'm like, oh no shit. But like, sure, Tom, tease us by telling us nothing. He toes the company.
He's good about that though. He knows he knows he can't reveal shit, so he's good about it.
I know. He's
Unlike
not like
some
Tom.
other Toms.
Remember the other day he was like, but the ending, and then Zendaya and Ned are like, or Jacob is like, no. It's
And he's
"What?
like,
I
I'm
didn't
done,
say anything.
I'm done, guys.
I'm done.
Yeah. And now moving on, the Claudia Winkleman show cancels at BBC after one season.
Which is a shame because it was really cute. I love Claudia. She's great. So
She hosts. So she's a big
She
TV
hosts The
presenter
Traitors.
in the UK. Yeah, she hosts the
she
UK
hosts The
version of
Traitors.
The Traitors. Yeah.
John, The Traitors is delightful.
She hosts the UK version of The Traitor. She's like, honestly, compared to Alan Cumming, she comes across as very dry to me. Like, I don't particularly enjoy.
No, she's
her
hilarious.
style,
She's so funny.
But I think she's for the British audience, she's perfect. But obviously, didn't really work for the show, and
Anyway.
she thought she was too nervous.
Apparently, we're gonna get more Mickey Mouse Club. Somehow, Mickey Mouse Club returned because Disney Plus orders pilot for a reboot of the kids show that made Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and Ryan Gosling famous. I like one of those people. It's Ryan Gosling. It's 100% Ryan Gosling because Justin Timberlake is a piece of shit and Britney Spears is a crazy person now. So Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, but
is the
I mean,
one.
we can have pity for Britney, and Justin he did it to himself.
I don't.
I mean, he did it to
that to
Britney,
himself.
quite frankly. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
But hey, you know what I
I
say to that?
realize?
Hey,
Cry
I just
me a
hope she
river.
gets. I just hope she gets help. That's all.
I'm like, these kids look way too not normal, which throws me off because I feel like
They
kid
look like
stars
AI.
used to. Right, kid stars used to look like normal kids back in the day. That's the thing that throws me off about Disney stuff now.
Because they're looks maxing, Dan. That's the thing now.
Yeah, and it feels. Obviously
See, I'm
not
in
for
it with
us,
the kids.
so-
I know what that is. Kind of, sort of, not really.
Yeah,
but, you know.
sure. Anyway, cool.
I wish to be Ryan Gosling, yes. I also wish to be Eva Mendes and be a millionaire. That would be very nice. And also be one of the handsomest men on planet Earth. Yes, that would be nice. So
You should watch that new movie he's making on Apple TV, which he just plays himself, even though, Kenneth Branagh's doing an amazing job. So, saw the trailer for that yesterday.
That
what is it called?
That was Mayday, and that was Ryan
Mayday.
Reynolds, not Ryan Gosling.
Oh, never mind.
Confusing the Canadian Ryans again, Dan.
I had Red Reynolds in there. No, it said Gosling. Never mind.
Anyway.
There are hype moments, Unk Dan, thank you.
Yes,
Confusing.
Ryan Gosling
There's
is
too many
literally
fucking
you.
Ryans
You know
in
what
the world.
else is literally us? Hashtag blessed.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot, right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Honka, honka.
All right. It's time for DCU Daily. We got the nice sea breeze going in the background. It's almost like I'm sitting next to the magic conch shell. If you get that, if you know, you know. Anyway, so it's time for DCU Daily, as I just said. I'll say that again. Yesterday, I spent literally an hour just talking about the Batman Part 2, so I can't wait to get back into that. And we do have some Booster Gold news, potentially. Actually, no, we don't. That was yesterday. I'm reading the wrong rundown. We were talking about lanterns today. We're talking about Blue Beetle. We have something for the ladies and the gentlemen in DC Quick Hits, and we'll talk more about the aftermath of the Batman Part 2's delay. So, Liz, what part of DCU Daily are you excited to talk about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm not excited to talk about. No, I mean, for some people, cool.
Cool. And then John, what are you excited to talk about?
I'm excited to talk about Blue Beetle because that's the only thing out of any of these I really care about. So.
All right. Okay. Well,
because Joel Marduena is my boy. He is my Cobra Kai boy, and I love him desperately.
Anyway. Matthews is going the way of Todd McFarlane. Oh, thank you for the super chat. And
well, at least like Batman, the Batman Part 2 is actually filming, unlike Spawn.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe he's on the way. Maybe once he gets there, then he won't be making movies for 30 years. But we'll see. Anyway, we have one quick hit today. Jorge Jimenez posting this saying we got all these panels ready to go, and there's more on the way, John. So you got all the hot couples of
we got Selena and Bruce. We got Lois and Clark. We have Joker and Punchline, aka the slightly better Harley Quinn, but still not that great. And then Nightwing and Dick and Barbara.
Oh, whoa, Nightwing. Hello. Calm down there, baby. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. I think they're like, who's next? Oliver Queen and what's his person?
Oliver Queen and Black Canary. Fucking heathen. Yeah. Jesus Christ. God. AKA Dinah Laurel Lance. Get the fuck out of here. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
That offends you of all the things? Okay, all right. Let's talk
because
about
Black Canary's she's fucking awesome, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. Genuinely, I love Black Canary. She's a great character.
Sure, cool. And on that note, we're going to talk about something they were speculating on, comicmovie.com. And this is kind of interesting, John. So they basically, in this article, they talk about how, and if you scroll down, I can go through some of the quotes. DC Studios had sort of announced an animated Blue Beetle show a while ago. And it looks like they might not be going through with that anymore. If you, John, are you able to scroll down in this article? Because they do talk about why maybe that's the case. So 2 years ago, I don't think it was ever officially announced by DC, but there were reports about this. And essentially, we had even the name of a showrunner, Christian Martinez, and then Angel Manuel Soto, who directed the Blue Beetle movie.
Yeah, I don't think Peter Safran or James Gunn ever officially said anything.
They were asked about it at a press event, and they were like, "We're not saying no, but like, who said anything about Blue Beetle?" It was like that. They weren't denying it, but they weren't saying yes either. Yeah. Joel Marduena though was talking about it, like without admitting that this is actually happening, and he even said, "Look, I don't want to bother James Gunn while he's making magic, but I will." I will be ready whenever they need me, kind of thing. And then last year, so John, if you scroll down a little bit, in that article about Man of Tomorrow announcing, actually no, it was I think they had an article recently on Deadline about Gorilla Grodd being cast. That was yesterday, I believe. And yeah, Pluto, thank you for that. And hello to Joshua as well. We're gonna talk about the DCU Batman stuff later. I don't know if you're talking about a specific DCU Batman rumor. Tell us in the chat. I don't know if there's somebody new. We've talked about Tom Brittany for a while. So anyway, in that article in Deadline, they said last year HBO Max revealed it would prioritize family and adult programming, with children's programming taking a step back because it doesn't fare as well and is no longer viewed as a priority. The Blue Beetle animated series was targeting young audiences who made up a large swath of the Giant Bugs fan base. There have been no updates on the project since the original announcement. Now, recently, Joel Marduena said, "I'm ready to come back. We're hitting hard this animated project, hoping to get settled out this year to show everyone next year. Now, this was, I believe, late last year. Then if you scroll down, John, he mentioned the part about like not really talking to Gunn about it, but he's being patient. Now, the newly reconstituted Warner Brothers Animation isn't really doing a lot of like small, kid stuff. They're thank you, Tony. We'll see you on the next one. But yeah, John, do you believe this? Do you think this is actually true that they've canceled this quietly because they're getting Sholo in their live action movie?
I don't think they've canceled it. Maybe it's just like it's kind of one of those things that like it's kind of just in development hell. I don't think they've canceled it purposely. So yeah, I mean it's entirely possible they could have, and since he is gonna appear in, maybe they don't. Maybe you know what? I could see them like putting it on the back burner for now. See what, like, if people still want to see him, because remember Blue Beetle kind of bombed, so they're like, let's see how people react to this character, and if they like Blue Beetle and Blue Beetle is like something that a lot of people love in this movie, then we can greenlight the animated show. But if Blue Beetle doesn't get a strong reaction, I would assume that they're probably just gonna be like, yeah, let's not talk about that. Kind of like how it's like, even though Supergirl wasn't box office success, everyone was talking about how great Lobo was, so like I could see them like maybe eventually giving Lobo and Jason Momoa a project in the future, but probably later rather than sooner. So I think they're holding out for the reaction of Man of Tomorrow, because if Man of Tomorrow doesn't do well, then it's just like, well, this entire fucking reboot's nuked. But if it does in fact like there is like it makes money, positive impact, and the Joe Lamar Dueña is like positively received this time around in this iteration, then like, okay, now we're gonna go ahead with the animated project.
The other thing, so Liz, I want to get your opinion on this. Like DC so far, they've announced a number of like kids animation things, like My Adventures with Green Lantern. They've got the same thing for Superman going. But as far as what goes on HBO Max, everything they do with animation seems to be adult animation, like Future Commandos. So, like, do you think that might be a good reason, like, why they're not actually going to, like, they're probably not going to, like, have this show. If they do make the animated Blue Beetle show, it might be a Cartoon Network thing, or it goes somewhere else and not on HBO Max?
I don't know. I'm a little torn on that one, because, I mean, like, Sesame Street was on HBO for a little while, so I don't... I don't know that
that was also taken out recently because of the same change they were making.
Sure. So I really don't know. I think again, with the age of streaming, I think it's you're damned if you do. Either you move to one platform that you think is better for content like that, but maybe less people have it, maybe less people subscribe. So I really don't know if that's the right move, or if that's particularly the reason in general. But I mean, I can appreciate the motivations behind it. I don't know if it makes sense to do that.
Yeah. John is using the same rating. I think we figured out the problem anyway. No, but it's fair. Again, nobody actually officially said the show is actually happening. So I don't think DC needs to be like, oh, sorry guys, we're not doing it anymore, because they never officially announced it. So we'll just leave it there until we hear anything official about it. Until then, maybe it is happening, maybe it isn't happening. It's just the nature of, like you said, John, a lot of stuff ends up in development hell. Sometimes it never makes it out and into the world, and we don't even know about it. It's just we usually get the tip of the iceberg with news like that. So let's talk about Lanterns, though. Liz, I think you're looking forward to the show based on the trailers, or are you mixed?
Well, I am, because again, I'm still not that familiar with the DC characters and all of that, and I did really enjoy Guy Gardner in Superman, so I'm looking forward to like learning a little more about. All I have is the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, really, for reference. So I am looking forward to being introduced to new characters and understanding more of the Lanterns realm and lore and how they fit in with the rest of the DCU. So yeah, I know some people think it's going to be crap, and people have already kind of shit all over it, but I don't know what I don't know, so I'm just going to watch it for educational purposes, and if it entertains me on top of that, great.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre can entertain us. They're fantastic actors now.
Yeah.
You missed the Men's Journal photo shoot that Kyle Chandler did. That was lady boner quality, I think. But anyway, Lantern season 2, there's an update. John, if you want to walk us through this, because apparently there's a report out there that they're already staffing up the writer's room, and because one new person joined for season 2. So does that mean season 2 is already kind of in the works, if not already greenlit? Like,
yeah, I mean, to be fair, like all joking aside, Christopher Cantwell did confirm that he is going to be working on the show's in season 2, and that was like, oh, is it happening? I don't think officially, like as
no,
it says
they
here,
haven't
Walt
announced
DC
it
Studios
officially.
and HBO haven't officially announced the second batch of episodes. We'd imagine that will hinge on how season 1 is received. But Christopher Cantwell, who like actually knows comics and has written good comics, unlike Tom King, you know, is being a part of the show. I don't think he's like gonna be the showrunner.
Yeah. Hey, Arthur.
I think it'll be kind of like a Ronald D. Moore on For All Mankind situation, where he created the show. He's technically the showrunner, but it's mainly these other people executive producing the show, like, you know, and he's not really directly working on it, but he's still kind of like the guy. That's what I think is going to happen here, because Damon Lindelof has, I think, another show to work on. Tom King's working on Mr. Miracle, which is more like his baby, because that's based on his Maxi series. So I think Christopher Cantwell's, he's not going to be like the new showrunner, but he's essentially going to be kind of the head guy while Damon Lindelof and Tom King are off working on other shit. So that's what that's what I've like gathered from what little information I know. So that's what I think it is. But yeah, I think like Christopher Cantwell is definitely going to be like kind of the guy. If there is going to be a season 2, he's kind of going to be the guy pulling all the strings, and
so
big part of the writer's room. So
yeah, I was gonna say, like, if he is indeed gonna be the, because like if you are the showrunner, then you're the guy who, you know, is like the lead producer. Then basically everybody else kind of like follows up on that. So I think based on what you were saying, my belief would be that season 2, they're probably going in a direction where Chris Cantwell takes over showrunner duties, and the other producers stay on as producers and executive producers, and they're maybe part of the writer's room. One thing I'm going to point out here, Liz, John, you're both aware of the whole drama with Mobland, right? Part of, there's only usually one showrunner, by the way, Pluto. So like there could be multiple writers and executive producers, but only one showrunner. So sometimes 2, but most cases it's 1. Now that being said, what I'm going to point to is the Mobland drama, because remember they were talking about how season 2 is just finished filming recently, and then they had all that stuff happen with Tom Hardy. They figured it out now. Hello, you're fake. And then they were worried about, are we going to get a season 3 if Tom Hardy walks away? And then in that reporting, we kept seeing this, that they were starting to assemble the writer's room for season 3 of Mobland, even though Paramount Plus hasn't greenlit a season 3 for Mobland yet. So usually what happens in Hollywood today is if a big series like that is in production, you want to start putting together the writer's room, so that way you're kind of anticipating that you're going to get the green light, and then you start putting together some ideas, you start putting it on boards, and like literally and figuratively on writing boards, and you have the ideas, you start to break characters as an industry term, where you start to figure out what the storylines are going to be, story arcs for the characters across the season. And then, you know, hopefully you get the green light, and then what you don't want to have happen is you find out you got a green light for another season and you haven't started at all, because that's when you have those 2-3 year gaps. So I think this year means that they're definitely trying to make sure that if this first season goes well, if not next year, then hopefully, you know, by 2028, we're going to get a season 2. So to me, that's a positive sign. The fact that they're working toward a season 2 and they're assembling a group of writers, they're trying to put together a preliminary writer's room. Sometimes they call them like mini writers' rooms, which was a big point of contention in the recent writer strikes, because, you know, that takes away full-time writing opportunities, because essentially you're kind of contracted for a few months. So anyway, but I think this is a good sign for the show, because it means they trust that this will do well enough on HBO that their HBO is going to give them a green light for season 2. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, we'll leave that there for now with Lanterns. Hopefully we do get a season 2. Liz has to head out, but Liz, since we are on the Batman Part 2, before you go, just your quick thoughts about the delay for the Batman Part 2.
All I can say is it better be such a good fucking film that the wait was worth it. I really enjoyed the Batman. I've been looking forward to the Batman 2, as you guys know. I'm heartbroken that I have to wait now a year and a half. And who knows, they're going to push it back further. They might just scrap the whole fucking thing. I'm still waiting for that to happen. Thank God our Pets has plenty of work ahead of him. He's been banking on a lot of other roles. He's been cashing those checks, so he'll be doing just fine until then. But geez Louise, I'm bummed about it. I really am. So
yeah.
But hey, I'll see y'all next week.
Thank you, Liz. We'll see you next time. Have a good week.
John, I hope you love the Odyssey tomorrow. Have fun, buddy.
I will. Yeah. I think I will. I think I will very much so.
Okay. Can't wait to hear about it. Good night, guys. Good night, everybody.
See you, Liz. Thank you. All right. Okay. And
now no more white noise and fuzz.
Well, we kind of figured it out towards the end, but I don't know what was going. There must have been like either a fan or something near the microphone because we were all hearing it. I think Liz knew it too. But anyway, Batman Part 2 is anything less than a masterpiece. If fire Reeves and cancel Part 3. Well, again, I think a little bit of like if it makes money and if it's not like the worst thing ever. Look, if it's an unmitigated disaster like Supergirl, then I'm sure they're not going to want to do a third one, or like Joker Folia do. I don't expect any of those scenarios.
I think it'll at the very least be a good movie. Like, even though I don't love the Batman, like it's still a good movie. Like it's perfectly fine. I don't think we're gonna get anything less than pretty good.
Yeah.
So
John, I know you weren't on the show yesterday, so I want to get your initial thoughts on this when you heard that they moved it by 4 months back so that it's not in 2027 anymore. We no longer have Batman and Superman in the same year, and the Batman Part 2 comes out in February.
Two chances, then you fucked them both. Oh well. But honestly, the only thing aggravating about this is the fact that we're getting a J.J. Abrams movie instead at the same time. Ooh. That's not good. Gross.
Yesterday we went through all the stuff about. I literally talked about it for an hour. Like they gave us this little sneak peek. Apparently the suit has the dicks on his head are a little bit longer. Because I was that pissed about it. Anyway, hello Stacy. So his the cowl, the ears are a little bit longer. I don't know the rest of the suit. We haven't really seen other than this little clip from yesterday. 6 years is just. It's so long, you gotta wonder like if it's really worth it because you're putting so much pressure on yourself to deliver. And the new logo, by the way, I'm like, this seems like the kind of thing where like they went and I don't know, like paid some design agency to charge them $1 million
in like
for that.
Fucking
it's
Microsoft Paint.
Yeah,
like that's so fucking.
Yeah, you
lame.
did kill. John, so I actually got to use the huge rant alert intro, the full intro, because then after that I ranted for 15 minutes. It was great.
Sorry that I couldn't be the one since I'm usually the rant guy.
It's all good. Can you go to the Jeffrey? I just want to get your. I don't know if you read the Jeffrey Wright comments, because I want to get your reaction to that. Then we'll talk about the fallout from everything, because I want to go through it in a few different pieces. But I want to get your reaction to this. Why don't you read out the Jeffrey Wright comments about the Sidney Lumet-esque vibes of the Batman Part 2.
So Wright commented, I think director Matt Reeves' interpretation of the franchise is really fresh and rich in terms of the narrative, but also rich cinematically. I don't think he views this as frivolous comic book stuff, but he views it as an opportunity to explore contemporary themes through a really dynamic medium that is the Batman franchise. Yeah, that's not special. What has this man heard of Christopher Nolan?
Keep going. It gets better.
He's also a massive fan of the franchise, hugely enthusiastic about it, and it's deeply meaningful for him. Well, not meaningful enough to fucking make a sequel on fucking time, but like sure. These films, the first one and now working on this one, are films from an era that he and I, because we're of a certain age, just revere, and those are films of the American cinema of the 70s, Sidney Lumet films, and films that Dustin Hoffman would have been a part of. Francis Cope. I can't even finish the fucking sentence.
I know.
Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese is trying to use all those touchstones in the films that might, in other hands, have not anything to do cinematically with that type of filmmaking. Okay, Jeffrey Wright, buddy boy, I love you. I know you probably should have won an Oscar for American Fiction, but like, please shut the fuck up. Fucking shut up, dude. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about right now. It's like, oh, this is like Sidney Lumet and Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese. Those are the ones that the cinephiles like, right? Yeah. Those guys. Yeah. But what was it? Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, him too. Yeah, totally like that stuff. Yeah. please see our movie. It's not just Batman again. Please clap.
I was like, look, just the context of it, the fact that it came out the same day as the announcement of this, I'm just like, I know the internet had a field day with this, and also
It's just like,
I'm like,
bro, like
Jeffrey Wright, like he was a little funny with some of his like parts in the Batman Part 2, where where he's like growling under his breath. I'm like, dude, you're playing Detective Gordon, not Batman. Like, you don't need to do the like. What was it when they're interrogating the Penguin? And he, he just pulls out his like breathy voice on the Penguin, and the Penguin's like, "What are you showing me?" And I was just like, God, Jeff, like it's anyway, it's just Coppola, Lumet. It's like, this is the same thing I was saying. Remember Dylan Clark, the producer of these movies, one of the producers, was like riffing on, "Oh, I think this is the best thing ever. I think this is like better than The Dark Knight. You guys just go and wait and see and watch." And I was like, guys. It's the same. It sounds the same as when Timothée Chalamet was accepting his Golden Globe, John, and he was like, "I don't know. I don't think people talk like this, and I don't want to like sound like pretentious, or I don't think he said pretentious, but of like, I want to be like the greats, I want to be like Denzel Washington. I want to be like Daniel Day-Lewis." I'm like, dude, like fucking accept the award, be humble, and shake hands and walk off stage. Like, don't say the quiet thing out loud. It's like, it's like it's like the brain to mouth filter needs to kick in, and it's just, sorry, Jeffrey Wright. Maybe the timing of this was terrible. It just makes it sound so much worse.
Fucking like speech like on like, please, can we fucking get more stars like Millie Alcock, who's just like, yeah, I don't know how I became an actor and like how I'm popular now, but like I guess I'm doing it. Like, sure. I mean, I hate my attention, but like I guess I'll keep doing it. Sure, why not? So that's why I'm like, can we get more stars like that? Or like Ryan Gosling, who's just like constantly surprised that he's a good actor and people like him, just like all the time. He's like, wait, do people like me? Why?
Yeah.
It's just like,
he literally has like that slur, like, guys, like, wait, yeah, like he's got that cool dude, like he's always like a little chill, like he's a chill dude. He's the definition of a chill guy. Anyway,
yeah, insert that meme of the fucking weird the guy with the hands in his pockets.
Yeah. Ken, I'm just kidding, but like it's just that whole thing of humble pie. Also, naked ambition in Hollywood.
You're a letterboxed bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like yesterday, I was like, bring up the word pretentious now, because it's like naked ambition in Hollywood has never looked good on anybody.
It's just like, at this point, just like make a good movie. Like, that's all we ask. And it's just so funny because, like, oh, we don't want to see fucking, Batman and Superman all over again. And then, meanwhile, oh, hey, okay, here's Supergirl. Yeah, we don't want to see that. Okay, sure, why not?
By the way, I see the article you guys are asking. I think multiple people have asked about. We'll continue talking about the Batman Part 2 in a second, but there is an article in cosmicbooknews.com, which, again, Cosmic Book News usually peddle bullshit. They're very unreliable, but they're saying exclusive that Alan Ritchson is the front runner for James Gunn's DCU Batman.
Even though he literally said outright,
that he talked to James Gunn.
I talked to him and I'm not getting the role. So like, shut the fuck up. Like,
it makes no sense. Like, literally, that's what Alan Ritchson said.
That's like an old fucking like fan casting from like a year ago, and it's just like, it's like, what it feels like? It feels like it feels like Internet Explorer, where it's just like those memes where it's like, it's so slow. It's just like, it feels like Cosmic Book News is like a fucking year behind, and they're finally letting out it's exclusive. It's like, bro, everyone stopped talking about Alan Ritchson like a fucking year ago when he said this, and Tom Brittney's the guy now that everyone's like, oh my god, he's gonna be the new DCU Batman. It's just like, keep up with the times,
catch up. It's an old rumor, because not only did Alan Ritchson say he talked to James Gunn about it, they posed the question to James Gunn before that, and James Gunn was like, I don't know. He didn't say no or yes, but he said like, I don't know, maybe like something like, maybe not Batman, but I would love to have him in the DCU, something to that effect. So both Gunn and Ritchson have addressed it, and to the contrary of that. So I mean, sure, they can turn around and pull a surprise on us.
They can be lying, it's unlikely. But like,
it's highly unlikely.
I mean, James Gunn likes to do that and backpedal all the time. So it's
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, it's fine. It's just like
that
it's Batman turning around. Okay. Here's the entire thing.
Da, Dun,
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 dun.
dun, dun. Meanwhile, in the
And that's it.
background,
That's it.
Is in the background. You got the cops going whoop whoop. It's the sound of the police whoop, because you don't know what they're
That makes
playing.
me
Like
want
we
to watch
don't.
Naked Gun again.
I know, right? Anyway, I just watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode with like Judy comes back, Doug Judy, and like anyway. Liz would appreciate the reference. John, what I wanted to do is kind of go through the Pontiac Bandit. Yeah, so good. God, I need to do a full rewatch of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine show. Can we go to the Notebook for a moment? Because I want to kind of break this down. And I know yesterday we were sort of like ranting a lot. Are you able to like zoom out a little bit? But anyway, actually no, keep it zoomed in.
Well, you're always yelling at me to zoom in.
No.
So...
Actually, this is fine. So I want to break this down into a few different pieces, right? So the Batman Part 2 got delayed. And this, by the way, I listed out the 3 release dates that the movie has had now, and now the 4th release date. So it was originally going to come out in 2025, October 2025. They pushed it by a year because of the strikes, which would have still been, 2.5 years after the original movie came out if it hit its original release date. Then they pushed it another year because apparently Matt Reeves needed more time. There were possible personal extenuating circumstances, sure. But now they're pushing it another 4 months because I mentioned yesterday, John, the reason the deadline gave was they didn't start production on time, so the extra 4 months are going to give the movie more time to finish VFX and editing and post. So
Meanwhile, Evil Dead Wrath just finished filming, and they have 2 years to fucking do post-production and wait to do whatever the fuck they want. It's just all right, this is why horror wins, everybody.
Yeah, and also, like I said, James Gunn has made 2 Superman related, including a movie which has a dozen different super characters coming out of Man of Tomorrow. Denis Villeneuve is making 2 fucking Dune movies.
Christopher Nolan pretty much made an entire Batman trilogy in this time.
Yeah, 7 years apart. Well, it was technically
7 years in
production.
total.
It was a little more. Yeah. 7 years, 2005, 2008, 2012.
Nolan did 3 movies in the same amount of times you do one sequel.
Yeah. And if you scroll down now, let's talk, because John, this is a pattern, because it's not just that they delayed this one. The original Batman in 2022 originally was going to come out in 2021, in June 2021, got pushed to October 2021. Now, both of those delays, because eventually it came out in March of 2022, both of those delays were because of COVID. So you can understand that a little bit more. But, I'm just trying to make the point that this has happened before. Not as egregiously, but this has happened before. And obviously the Planet of the Apes movies too. Matt Reeves has got a reputation in Hollywood for being a little slow with writing stuff and such. So I guess it comes with what you want to do with a franchise with Matt Reeves. Now, if you keep scrolling down here, John, let me go to the next thing. Let's compare the release dates. This, I think, is really eye-opening, right? Because you compare the release date that they had in October 2027, October 1st, 2027, there were no other major Hollywood releases scheduled opposite the Batman. They had the date, the weekend, all to themselves. Now, that date is going to go to J.J. Abrams' The Great Beyond, which is meant to be his magnum opus sci-fi, sure. But the point stands, John, they would have had no competition. Now, they're moving it to President's Day weekend in February 18, 2028. Now, internationally, it's not President's Day weekend. In the US, it is, so it's a holiday weekend. And, for February 2028, because it's a holiday weekend, there's not one, there's 2 other movies, John, that are scheduled for that weekend as well. So competition, and it's major competition, because there's an untitled Disney Marvel film scheduled for that weekend. They have, I believe, 2 or 3 Marvel movies scheduled for that year in 2028. Then you have Sony and Bad Robot's Grand Gear, which is being directed by Takashi Yamazaki. So it's basically Takashi Yamazaki's Pacific Rim, and you got a potential Marvel movie that the Batman Part 2 now has to compete with.
Yeah.
And if you remember, there's some precedence here potentially, because BVS got the date. They delayed that movie by a year, and they picked a date that then Marvel went and put their foot down on and said, oh, it's not that other Serpent Society Captain America movie. We're doing Captain America Civil War. It's basically an Avengers film, and you blink and move BVS, and BVS moved. So Marvel has done this before. Now, I'm not saying, I think the Batman would still be the superior property no matter what Marvel movie they put out, unless it's Secret Wars Part 2. There's no other Marvel movie that would make more money than the Batman Part 2. That being said, it does mean Marvel can eat some of DC's lunch that weekend, as well as Grand Gear, because October 1st, you had no competition. February 18th, you do. Now, if you scroll down, John, because the House of Mouse, we could talk about what Marvel movie could be on that weekend. The Disney factor, essentially. Because remember we talked about a while ago, it was July, it was earlier this summer maybe, or if not, like maybe like in springtime, Disney did like a big reshuffle of the dates. And so they moved around. We were speculating what movies are going to come out on these untitled release dates for 2028 and 2029. February 18th was one of those dates. Now, that is one of two, I was saying three, and actually one of two Marvel movie dates for 2028. So it's highly unlikely Marvel vacates one of these, because they are going to put two movies out in 2028 to basically start off the mutant era, the new saga, the mutant saga of the MCU. And the speculation right now is that February 18, 2028 could be either Black Panther 3 or the X-Men movie, the two that are seemingly farthest along in production outside of the Avengers movies. So, John, they have another movie, set to release on July 28th. They got Incredibles 3 in June, and then you got Lilo and Stitch 2 in May 26th. But let me ask you this question. It's highly likely that same day that the Batman Part 2 now is going to come out, it needs to now go up against the Black Panther 3, which neither of the previous two movies have made any less than 800 million, and the first one made over $1 billion, and or the relaunch of the X-Men. That's worrying, no? Because I'm like, you go from a weekend where you had no competition, to we're gonna compete with Marvel's X-Men reboot or the finale of the Black Panther trilogy, which might feature a new T'Challa too, a grown-up new T'Challa, by the way. So, your thoughts? Is this a problem?
I think this is all just really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And the fact that we started production a little late means you have to delay it 4 fucking months. And especially with that, February, it's not as bad as January, but February is usually considered a dead month for stuff. So
although the Batman will make money in any part of the calendar.
No, I know,
right?
I know that.
But still. And
the fact that there's the possibility that it's it could be Black Panther 3. Black Panther 3 would be more likely, because I know this seems stupid, but one, the original Black Panther did come out in February, and two, it is Black History Month, so it would make more sense that is Black Panther 3, and I think they might want to do. I know Wakanda Forever came out later in the year when the year that came out. I think that came out in was it November? I think it was November, right?
I think the first one, yes. The second one, I'm not so sure.
No, the second one came out in November. The first one came out in February.
Oh, the first one. Oh, that's what it's okay. I think that we can look.
Because remember, Black Panther came out before Infinity War, and Infinity War came out in April, so that's why I said that. I do remember that. Wakanda Forever,
They came out February 16, 2018. So it would almost be 10 years to the day in 2028 that the first Black Panther would have come out in February 16, 2018.
Right. So it's more likely that Black Panther 3 is would be the movie. And on top of the fact, it's it's X-Men, which is it's not, I mean, it's big, but not quite as big as Black Panther, because again, combined, those movies almost made $2 billion. So, X-Men, this would be the first thing. This is more of a risk. Honestly, if I were Disney, I would say put Black Panther there. Because that is you want to fucking put a Batman movie there? All right, motherfucker. Black Panther. Go fuck yourself. So you're going to have all the white people seeing Batman. You see all the black people go see Black Panther 3. Yeah. So, not saying it's mutually exclusive. I'm just saying that's usually the case.
But I mean, it's that's Marvel's biggest shot, because the X-Men movie, there's always the idea can you live up to the past? It's a bit of an unknown
risk. It's
Fantastic Four wasn't a runaway hit either, so that's another similar situation where they're rebooting a Fox
X-Men.
property.
It's a new cast. It could be like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, or it could hit the ground running, like Guardians, for instance. We don't know, but if okay. So I see this happen. I set my movie for February 18th. I am Kevin Feige. I am sitting. I don't have a baseball cap on me, unfortunately, but I'm sitting in my chair. We have the date. bam, February 18th, 2028. And then I see the motherfuckers from the shit fucks down the street, bam, putting a Batman movie. I'm thinking, what do I put down? I put the risk factor of this reboot. No. I'm putting the movie that is 100% going to make either close to or 100% $1 billion, especially against a movie that only made 700 something million dollars. So yeah, it's like, DC, your balls can fill up this entire fucking room for doing that, and they're probably gonna explode, and not in the good way, with how you're fucking doing this shit. Because you literally just fucking crashed and burned with Supergirl. It's not looking bright for Lanterns. Your next movie after that is fucking Clayface, which, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for as a horror fan. But again, rinky-dink little horror movie that's not going to bring about a lot of people that are like big comic book fans into that movie. Sure, Man of Tomorrow, you're going to have that. But that's the only movie that's going to be coming out in 2027. You don't have any other movies, as far as we know, coming out in 2027. This is either going to really fucking pay off, or it's quite literally the dumbest fucking decision you can possibly do, and it will get James Gunn and Peter Safran fired if they are not gone already by the time.
Their contracts would have to be renewed before this happens now, because now this movie's release date falls outside of their current contract term, so they would need to get an extension or a renewal by that point. So, and to your point, John, there's more precedence here, because I mentioned earlier the Winter Soldier, I mentioned Civil War, but like remember Captain America Winter Soldier came out in 2014. That movie was more of a sure thing because it was a sequel to the first Captain America movie,
I
also
remember talking about that.
Following the Avengers. So that came out in April that year, and then they're launching the unknown characters, the Guardians of the Galaxy, or in this case, like a more of a risk. X-Men are way more known, but still more of a risk because it's a reboot with Marvel doing it. They put that out in August of 2014. So Marvel's done this before, where they'll put a more of a sure thing out early in the year, and then they'll put like the one that could use the extra bump from the summer audiences, and like in this case, July. So
100%.
Yeah. It just like, honestly, I haven't got the calendar of confirmed release dates in front of me for 2028, but you gotta have other options. Like, why February 18, 2028 when Disney
Why
had
not
already
just
put
do
a
it in
Marvel movie on that
March?
date?
When the first movie came out.
Yeah, March 22nd or whatever that Friday equivalent is that year. It's just, yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you could have skipped, like, there's got to be so many other options. You go forward a week, maybe move off by a couple of weekends, because maybe this is DC, like you said, John, they're putting their foot down and saying, we got a movie titled and dated. Disney, you make your move. And if Disney doesn't blink, then, I mean, somebody has to blink, because I'm like, you could say that in Christmas time this year, there's enough of an audience, like there is every year at Christmas and the summer months, for a Doomsday kind of a spectacle with Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday to both make enough money, and for a Jumanji movie to come out around that, and an Angry Birds movie to come out around that. But in February, I don't think there's enough money to go around for both a Black Panther 3 and a Batman Part 2 to make enough for it to be really worth releasing on the same weekend. So one movie will have to move. And I realize, Disney still hasn't titled that movie, so there's more room for them to move around. But I'm like, they're risking it at this point, right? Because like I was saying yesterday, like there already have been 4 release dates, but there's given the complication of a Marvel movie already dated on that same weekend, there's a chance they also move the release date again. And this time maybe just by weeks, if that. But for a movie that's already, 6 years in the making and delayed 4 times, it's just gonna, again, pile on to the terrible bad PR. And like James Gunn was, has been saying from the beginning, they're averse to doing those kind of big slate announcement events and Comic-Cons and stuff, because they want to let the movies, do their thing and take their time. But I'm like, now in this case, it's starting to sound like excuses because you can't execute something on time and hold yourself to a release date. Like, I give kudos.
March is probably not great because the last Fast and Furious is coming out in March, so that's probably,
a lot of those movies have come out in March and done fantastically well. I think Furious 7 made $1 billion.
Well, I'm just saying it's competition. Yeah, so
exactly, yeah. So it's just, Yeah. I mean, and to your fake's question, their contracts will have to be renewed. Yes. So there, John, we saw this story a few months ago where Gunn and Safran's contracts were set to run out, I believe, till I think they were set to run out either the end of this year or mid 2027, and then they got extended by 6 months. Basically, they got extended. I think it was the end of this year. They got extended by 6 months, and Casey Bloys, the head of HBO as well. All three of those guys, basically Warner Brothers did the bare minimum to anticipate when the merger with Paramount would be done. So then the next contracts would come due for them when new ownership is in place. They didn't want to give them any more than they had to. So yes, I think by late summer or fall of 2027 they would have needed to have new contracts in place. So I mean, this is also again depending on whether the Paramount merger gets held up by lawsuits until then, or if it's all done by then. Who's going to make that decision? Is it going to be David Zaslav doing it, or David Ellison? Might change what actually happens. So anyway, but John, you were going to say something. I was going to
but no, it's just like, yeah, it's just like, it seems like March is a little crowded. You got the Elden Ring movie, you got Oh, the Places You'll Go, you got Fast Forever. You have like some stuff there, but February is pretty dry outside of that one weekend. So it's just like, I don't know. It just seems like insane to me because it's just like the fallout as I, showcasing here. Again, we were supposed to have 2025. That was supposed to be the year we were supposed to get a Batman and a Superman movie. First time that's ever happened. Got delayed. Now it was 2027. That's not happening again either. And the thing is, then there's the idea of like the DCU Batman, because the merger is not happening no matter what the merger bros say. It's just like, honestly, at this point, you just gotta fucking bite the bullet at this point and just fucking make the DCU Batman, because it's like, you can't just keep treading water. Like, if this shit keeps getting, pushed, then it's like, all right, fine, we're gonna fucking cast the Batman, not this Batman, but cast our Batman, and then fucking,
right.
This will be like
you can't wait for them anymore. Yeah,
it's just like, it's ridiculous. And it's just like, if Andy Muschietti is dragging his feet, Christina Hodson doesn't have a script, then it's like, bye-bye, get fucking rid of them and hire people that can get a movie. Like, that's the thing with Batman. It's just like, for some fucking reason, you have people that are like either too perfectionist, like with Matt Reeves, or you get someone who doesn't give a flying fuck, that like Andy Muschietti. It's like, bro, I'll fucking direct a Batman movie. I could fucking probably I'll do a better job than Andy fucking Muschietti. I'll give you that. I'll fucking write and direct it. I don't give a fuck. Like, boom, I got you, bro. But like, it's just like, you're dragging your feet, you're gonna doing all this shit. It's just like, just fucking like drop the nuke on it at this point, on the both of them, and just fucking go with the DCU Batman, because it's like, we all know the merger, like, the merging of universes is not going to happen because Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson didn't fucking sign up for that. So it's literally the most valuable asset you have, and you're kind of being fucking weird about it.
Like I was saying, there's going to be a 6-year gap that you don't put out a single Batman movie. Like Spider-Man movies, they're printing them out as fast as they can because they know those are guaranteed billion-dollar movies. The Batman is a guaranteed billion-dollar movie every time, with a good cast and good story in place. Like, it's even the bad Batman movies make a lot of money, and the fact that they've had a 6-year gap between the last Batman movie of any kind and the next one is just egregious. It's a bad
at least we're getting
decision.
Nightfall this year, right?
It's bad PR. I mean, you know what? Yeah, I mean, sure, but like, it's not the kind of live action big time Hollywood blockbuster thing. But
and then it's just like, the new release. I don't think it's gonna stick. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna get scared of Marvel, because Marvel is actually doing very well right now, because DC had the chance to fucking dunk on Marvel, and they fucking shot themselves in the foot. And now Marvel is like,
Secret Wars
comes out black over here. Quite literally,
Secret Wars will still be in theaters. Like, Secret Wars will still be in theaters at that time, like, or just coming out of theaters. Marvel will be riding the highs of Secret Wars at that time. It's you know what I mean? It's like the momentum will be in their favor. Meanwhile, Man of Tomorrow will feel like distant old news because it would have come out over 7, 8, 9 months ago in June or July of 2027. So it's just, I don't know. It's just, that's why I'm saying, I think the new release date could also not stick. Like, again, I'm not saying they're going to push it back by months again.
I
but
think they
like
need. I think they're
weeks.
gonna have to move again. Like, it's
Didn't
just
Batman Superman move by like 3 weeks or what? It wasn't a big difference.
what they should have done. I don't know how fucking late the like production started, but like if it was like a little bit delayed, why not just fucking wait till November? Just delay it a
Mhm.
month. It's just like, oh shit, we started a few weeks late. Okay, here's a month. Boom, there we go. Fine. You
Yeah.
should have just done that. There we go. And then you would have gotten it in before Secret Wars dominated the fucking,
Right.
the conversation over here. And now it's just like, now we're just kind of stuck. It's just like every decision in regards to this specific delay is a bad one. Now,
Mhm.
like seeing it all the cards on the table, it's just it's like it's hard to be a DC fan right now because it feels like I'm trying to bat for these guys, no pun intended. I'm trying to be like be like, hey, I like James Gunn's great, Peter Safran's a good producer, I like Matt Reeves as a director, I like all this, but you guys are literally like making
Making it
it
very
so
hard.
fucking difficult to
I
defend you
know.
guys because now all the haters and
Yeah.
dickheads are now have a point because it's just
Mhm.
like you crashed and burnt, and now you're just making every single solitary decision. And it's just like now we have PTSD flashbacks to the DCEU, and that's what it is. And you promised us this brave new world, and now it's just like, oh well, maybe this is a good idea. Literally every single aspect of this is a bad fucking idea. So it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
this
I'm
needs
like,
to be like a
it's
perfect 10 out of 10 for
that's
me
what I was
because it's
saying
like.
yesterday. Yeah.
Because, like, why do you think fucking Gaben has not fucking released Half-Life 3? Because he knows that's not going to live up to the hype. So it's like, I'd rather never release the fucking game than actually release it and it turns out to be not that great. Because that's usually what happens. Look what happened with a great fucking example.
Yeah.
A DC-related project that came back from the dead and it sucked ass. Young Justice seasons 3 and 4. Everyone clamored for that shit to come back. They finally got it back with a marginal budget, by the way, a budget of a ham sandwich and a dream,
Mhm.
and it was fucking dog shit. It was terrible. Everyone
Yep.
clamored for that, and season 3 was bad. Season 4 is arguably worse. I don't know. It's all kind of mixes in my mind. Both of them are pretty fucking stupid. I know,
Yeah.
like, Superboy was in the Phantom Zone, and he was a ghost for some reason. And then they promised, like, oh, Supergirl was going to be fucking evil with Mary Marvel, and they were going to bring in the new gods, and then that never happened. Because guess what? Nobody's clamoring for Young Justice anymore because you fucking ran the show into the ground, and it sucks now, and nobody remembers it as the great show of those first 2 seasons, despite having the original showrunner attached and doing, apparently, the ideas that he always wanted to do. So it's just fucking insane to me that, like, it just like you're like, no matter what happens, this is just gonna be a bad move. It's just a bad
It
move.
just is.
Like,
Yeah.
am I
It
upset?
just
Not
is.
really. I'm just kind of numb to it. Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing: in terms of like DC right now, the movie I should not be the most excited for, the DC project I should not be the most excited for, isn't a fucking Clayface movie. That's the thing that's has me excited. And a direct-to-video Nightfall adaptation. Guys, what the fuck are we doing here? I should be riding the highs of Supergirl right now. I should be stoked that Lanterns is finally getting another adaptation. But no, I'm just like numb. Even though I liked the Supergirl movie, it was, heavily problematic because it had problems. Like, that's what I mean. It was like heavily flawed. And it's just like, now we're going to get a Lantern show by one of the worst fucking TV writers and one of the worst comic book writers to have ever written for either medium. And we're going to have the greatest Green Lantern fucking murked at the end of episode 1 because Tom King has to subvert expectations and whatever the fuck. And now it's just like a body horror Clayface movie is the one that like is holding out hope, is gonna be the Atlas of DC this year. What are we doing? What in the fuck are we doing right now? What are you doing, James Gunn? Fucking like jerking off writing a fucking script with your thumb up your ass? Like, just, I mean, as what was it, M2G said, it's just like you gotta, or I don't know who said it, M2G, somebody else, Movie Spud said it. It's just like, James Gunn, I understand that you're a director at heart, but like at this point, you have to really fucking decide. do you want to be a director or do you want to be a producer? Like, where are we at?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I get it.
I think
and considering that you
yeah.
have you're the director that has the only hit in the DCU right now. And it's just like, okay, I understand that, but like at the same time, it just feels weird that you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the herald of this new DCU, and it's now just kind of falling apart, and it's hard to defend you, even though I like his movies. I really want this to succeed, but now it feels like DCEU 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, because it's also like, think about it this way, right? And I know like Movie Sput's comment about like John Campy and stuff talking about it too. It's here's the thing. I think James Gunn. Well, no worry. The James Gunn has mentioned this several times. He's like, look, it's hard to do all of this all together because you got to think of it this way. He's working on Man of Tomorrow. When you're directing a movie of that size and scale, when you're directing a movie in general, what you can't like not then basically wake up or stay up at night and like moonlight as the I don't know, the producer who's overseeing the script of Batman at the same time while during the day you're filming Man of Tomorrow. Like while you're directing Man of Tomorrow, James Gunn, you can't really, I'm sure he tries maybe, but I'm like, how good is he actually able to pull off both things if he's working on Man of Tomorrow during the day and then moonlighting as the producer who's overseeing the script for the Batman, the DCU Batman at night? So essentially what I think what's most likely happening is that the development and the writing process for the DC Batman movie is almost frozen in time, if not moving at a snail's pace, while he's spending these months directing Man of Tomorrow. And that's the problem with, are you the CEO or are you the director? Right? Like, be a producer, just executive produce for a little while, like maybe direct a few episodes of a show here and there, but like for him to jump right from Superman to Man of Tomorrow just felt like, okay, so what about all this other stuff, right? Because here's the thing, John. I mentioned it before. Hello, Bane. That if they were to come out in the same year, even with these release dates, there is a chance that the Batman Part 2 makes more money. In fact, I was very confident if the dates that they had, the Batman Part 2 would have made more money than Man of Tomorrow. And that's how popular Batman is. So I'm like, James Gunn is like, clearly he's biased to the stories he's writing and what he's interested in. So again, on multiple levels, like I know he wants to direct, but I'm like, at that point, you can't also do the CEO thing, because if you are the creative man in charge who's also heavily overseeing the process for writing the DC Batman and the DC Wonder Woman scripts, like John, you mentioned it, right? They have two extremes. Either you got Matt Reeves, who's got carte blanche with time and budget, seemingly, to do whatever he so pleases and however long it takes for him to write the project and then direct the thing. Then on the other extreme, you have Andy Muschietti, who's like, I'm waiting for the call from James Gunn to tell me when the script is ready to go, and then we'll talk about it. And then James Gunn is the one who's really working closely with Christina Hodson on the script. You can't do that. Like, it doesn't work when you're also busy directing another movie. It's like, you have to bring in either a writer director. I mentioned this not too long ago before this news came out, that for the DCU Batman movie, you need somebody like a Sam Raimi. Like, Kevin Feige realized this. That's why he brought in Sam Raimi for Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, because he was like, I'm just going to bring somebody in who I don't have to supervise constantly. I trust Sam Raimi to do the job.
That's what it was. Look, and again,
or even Sam Raimi doesn't write his scripts, but bring in a director who can work with the writer, and then you just sign off on drafts and give notes.
Look at it like this.
Yeah.
It's just, I keep going back to phase 1 of the MCU. I know the reason that MCU is the way it is dumb luck. That's how it. Everyone's like,
they have a solid foundation.
Bullshit. It was like 90% dumb luck.
It's not dumb luck, but they took a lot of risks and they paid off. It was luck. I don't know. I want to say it's dumb luck, but it's.
Look at the directors that they picked for phase 1. Veteran directors who knew what they were doing. You had Jon Favreau, which is a little bit of a risk because he recently did Zathura and that was not very good. But, he still was trusted enough as a director because he had blockbuster, stuff under his belt, and it worked. Then Incredible Hulk, it was kind of sort of planned that it was like going to be part of cinematic universe, but not really. So, okay, Louis Leterrier did the Transporter franchise, knows how to do big budget action. Perfect. There we go. Bring that guy in. Then what was the next one? Thor. Who do we bring in? A guy who knows Shakespearean drama. Kenneth motherfucking Branagh. Boom.
Great at his job.
He's directed blockbuster stuff before, and on top of the fact, he knows Shakespearean stuff. So boom, let's bring him in for the Shakespearean drama superhero film. Who's next? Oh, I don't know. Motherfucking Joe Johnson for Captain America, which Captain America is essentially the fucking remake of The Rocketeer. So like, boom, you have that guy who knows what he's doing. Then, who do we bring for the Avengers? Oh, I don't know. The guy at the time that was pretty much declared nerd Jesus, Joss motherfucking Whedon.
King of the nerds.
Bam, 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 bam. And then, of course, Jon Favreau for Iron Man 2. But bam, 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 bam. Veteran, who knows what the fuck they are doing. Who do you bring in for Man of Tomorrow? Who do you bring for the DCU? And Superman, boom, you got James Gunn there. The guy, the herald of this universe, boom, you got him there. Who do we bring in for Supergirl? The guy who's never directed a blockbuster, who only knows really small indie dramas. Okay, sure. Who do you bring in for a Batman movie? The guy who gave you the biggest box office bomb in DC fucking history, and also has only directed 2 big budget movies, and both of them were horror movies. Okay, who do we get for one of our other movies? Swamp Thing. The guy who just nuked the Indiana Jones franchise. Who do we bring in for this? It's just like every decision is the really bad one. Like
James Mangold is doing 5 other movies before he even does a DC. You know,
and also these guys don't care. Like fucking James Mangold's fucking off doing Bob Dylan movies and shit at Paramount and all that. Like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do
Star Wars film.
Andy Muschietti's dragging his feet. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do my sci-fi project first. It's like you're directing a Batman movie. You got to go up to James Gunn and be like, dude, I am directing your cash cow. Fucking give me something if it's James Gunn's fault. If it's not, get fucking rid of him. Like, I'm not a businessman. I don't know what I'm just a guy who's seeing this shit from the outside. And I'm like, I feel like a fucking brain dead comatose toddler can do a better job at this point. I hate to say that. But like, I'm not like a Gunn dick rider. I'm not going to say, oh, he's the Jesus that will bring about the new DC Golden Age. It seemed like that for a bit. Now it's just he's running by the seat of his pants, and it's not in the fun Marvel way that managed to fucking get them a guaranteed cinematic universe. No, it's failing. So it's just, oh my god, that would be okay. If you really want to nuke DC for more rate, you get Greg Berlanti to do that shit, because Jesus fucking Christ. Why don't we just bring back Zack Snyder at that point if you really want to fucking nuke DC? Fucking Jesus Christmas. But you know,
don't do this too
just
much.
Like at this point, you gotta like reshuffle some things. You gotta like do all the shit like
it's
from behind the scenes and just restructure some stuff. Get Batman, get Wonder Woman, get these fucking projects out and like within the next couple of years, because without them you're gonna fucking fail. And I know people are gonna, oh, we don't want to just see Batman movies, we don't want to see just Superman movies, we don't want, well, clearly now you have the people, the same fucking dickheads that were complaining for years, we don't want just Batman movies. Now they're the ones that are like, Supergirl was cancer, we want more Batman movies. It just goes to show that, like, I hate to say this because not all fans are like this, it's just the extreme ones, but it's just like, that's why you kind of sometimes don't listen to the fans, because it's like you kind of, oh, we want these new unique projects. Okay, cool. Here's Booster Gold and Swamp Thing and fucking Waller. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, actually, we don't want that. We want 10 million more Batman movies. It's like,
I think, but
what do you fucking want? What do you fucking stupid fuckheads want?
I just
like
think, no, but it's
here.
I think that everything in moderation is okay. I think just gone from one extreme to the other, and not necessarily intentionally, because I don't think they ever intended for there to be this big of a gap between two Batman
Greg
movies.
Berlanti
Right?
was the guy who was in charge of the CW DC universe, in addition to Mark Guggenheim and Andrew Kreisberg. But Andrew Kreisberg was a creep, so he got.
But like, I feel like here, this isn't like, I think this is a disaster in the making, because you've got two guys who haven't run a studio before, and they didn't see this stuff coming, because they're like, obviously, because I think the creative part of James Gunn wants to give Matt Reeves all the tools that he needs to make the best Batman movie. But I don't know, where's Peter Safran at? Like, why is he not pulling out the whip and saying, no, you gonna have to give me that. I don't care that you guys started late. You're gonna need to give me that movie by October 2027. Because we've already delayed it 3 times. Because I think that's the problem here. Like, a more veteran or a producer who's more, experienced would see these, 2 steps down the line problems coming, and then would more proactively deal with them, or would try to find a better solution than here. I think it's the death by 1,000 cuts. There's a lot of things that have happened. I don't think anybody intentionally decided they were not going to do a Batman movie for 6 years. I think, like, James Gunn, obviously he wanted to do a Batman movie. It was part of one of the original Slate announcement. But at this point, you're wondering, like, how much longer? Because at the minimum, you're not going to get it now, the DCU Batman, until 2029, possibly later. And it's now they're in a position where, John, it's becoming harder to give them the benefit of the doubt, because it's not even just like, oh, this is intentional, and oh, they do really value these perspectives that, like for example, you talk about Tom King and his influence, and he's working on Mr. Miracle now, Lanterns and all that. But also, it's you're starting to wonder, like, okay, so they're just not good at their jobs, they're just too inexperienced. Like, I've been saying for a while, like, don't judge them on one thing, but when you start piecing all these things together, there's too much here to ignore a pattern,
when you start making a lot of decisions that do not benefit what you have offered and what you have, then it's it's gonna be like, oh yeah, wow, you guys are really fucking up, holy shit. It's just like, it's just so mixed at this point. Like, again, I'm not gonna say, oh, it's fail, blah blah blah, but it's just like, this is just, that's why I was like kind of numb to, like, oh, Batman got canceled, and okay, like, another fucking stupid failure from DC. All right, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. That's essentially what it is. I feel like a parent.
I kept saying frustrated yesterday, like,
it's just like, I don't have the fucking energy to be upset anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, yeah, I go on my Tom King rant sometimes, but it's just like, I mean, the thing is, at this point, I don't think it even matters. I just think, like, honestly, just make a Batman movie or a Superman movie or maybe a Wonder Woman movie every 2 to 3 years, in order for DC to keep making money. And that's all that it's like, that's the thing. That's
a lot of people were saying that yesterday.
Like,
I don't know if
that's what I'm saying. Like, because at this point, the DCU is going to be nuked. Like, if worst case scenario, DCU gets nuked, whatever the fuck it is, it goes to Paramount, and then David Ellison's like, all right, we're just gonna make a couple,
whoever they bring in,
we're just gonna make a Batman movie every once in a while, we're gonna make a Superman movie every once in a while, and that's how we're gonna make our money with DC, even though apparently, David Ellison loves DC and all that shit. But it's just like, he's just got to look at the money and be like, well, we're gonna try and do this, but it's like, if it's like Gunn and Safran out, we're done, DCU gets nuked, then David Ellison comes in with Paramount merger, if that goes through, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're going to try and do it for a third time. It's like, yeah, no, just don't even try at that point. Just give us popular characters every couple years, and then people are just like, that's what's going to make money. The nerds are going to be upset. They're going to be like, oh, why can't I get a fucking, Doom Patrol movie? Why do I got to see Batman for the millionth time? It's like, you know why? Because your fucking fat ass is going to fucking go see it, and that's the shit that fucking makes money, man. Because that's what it's just like. It's just like, oh, why are we getting these movies? Why are we getting? Because Supergirl comes out, and then it fucking shits the bed. That's what happens. It's like every fucking buddy claims, like, oh, I want to see new stuff. I want to see. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because then Toy Story 5 wouldn't have made a fucking $1 billion at the box office. Okay? Oh, I want to see new stuff. Yeah, okay. Minion Monsters wouldn't have been killing it at the box office, right? Yeah, Moana's a fucking outlier, but at this point, it's just like, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Rebirth almost made $1 billion. Like, nobody wants to see this. Well, clearly people do want to see it because it fucking keeps making money. So, it's just like and I said this from the beginning, and I think this was I don't want to say the DOA thing because I don't want to say it's dead on arrival, but
just bad publicity all around right
that
now.
shot them in the foot. I don't know if this was a James Gunn decision or a David Zaslav decision or what, but it was short-sighted, and I feel like it was only for stocks and for like shareholder shit.
Yeah.
The 2023 announcement fucking killed them. Because that was like, oh, we have all this stuff planned, and now like barely anything of that is being made.
But also, like, it not only did they do that, I think they also hit themselves in the foot because they chopped all four of those movies at the knees.
Their 2023 movies. It's like, oh, why do I need to see this shit? It's getting rebooted, so why the fuck?
It was just really bad. Like, now it looks worse because I'm like, this slate that they announced hasn't really panned out all that well, and it did it because at the time it was like, this is gonna be great, so we don't care if we sacrifice the 4 movies this year. And then James Gunn was out there saying The Flash is the greatest superhero movie he's ever seen. I don't think he believed that himself.
Well, clearly he did, because he got the fuckers who wrote and directed that on Batman. So
maybe he does. And again, this is the whole pattern. Like, do you really want to give him a benefit of the doubt at this point? You know what I mean? For Caleb, this is strike 2 after Supergirl. I agree with you there. And again, their inexperience is showing here with bad
PR. Then Lanterns might be strike 3 if it's that bad. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it's just like I don't think Batman Part 2 is a strike. I think that's a ball. Like, it's not a hit, but it's like, all right, it's one step closer to maybe getting on base, but it's like not good. Like, ball is like kind of like an indifferent thing where it's like, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just like, okay, we'll see how this pans out, because maybe it will, maybe we're gonna get lucky. And it's like, Marvel's like, okay, the Batman, we don't want to fuck with that. We're going to take whatever the hell we have and move it to some other fucking release date. Unlikely, but, and then it turns out the Batman Part 2 is the greatest fucking Batman movie we've ever gotten. And, James Gunn and Peter Safran still have jobs. They get their shit together and all that.
Sidney Lumet-esque, John.
Yes.
Dustin Hoffman-esque, Scorsese-esque.
It's just like someone made a joke, and it's like, honestly kind of feels like that, where it's like they're making Marvel Phase 4 projects in DCU's Phase 1, and I'm like,
I know,
yeah,
exactly. You're saying the same thing
a little bit,
and there was an inkling of that when they announced that slate, and I was like, I'm worried because where's the Wonder Woman, where's the Flash, and I realized at the time you want to let those characters cool down, but I'm just like, they were gonna do the Authority, John. I'm glad that's not happening, because that would have been another high-profile bomb probably, unless they because they don't hire A-list actors. They don't remember, like, you might have hated the movie overall, but everybody was talking about Will Smith and Margot Robbie are the standouts of the first Suicide Squad because they were A-list actors at the time. And I know this is a different time; it's hard to compare, but I'm like, sometimes you're just gonna pay for the big, actors and to bring some credibility. Like, people, when they saw Robert Redford in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, they were like, oh, MCU is now hitting the Hollywood big time, because they got Sir Anthony Hopkins on board already, and now you got Robert fucking Redford in your movie. Like, Glenn Close did a cameo in the first Guardians movie. It's just, and DC, like you said, John, they're making, like, Supergirl should have come out 3 movies down the road. If not 2-3 years down the road. The Batman movie should have been priority number 1 after Superman, and Superman was already written by James Gunn when he got the job. That was the pitch that got him the job. So it wasn't like they were writing Superman. Clearly at this point, like, they have had to redo the Batman script several times. James Gunn has admitted that himself. So I'm like, if you can't like the way, remember, John, there's been a few times where James Gunn has talked
it's
about.
Been over 6 years since the last Tarantino.
Yeah, well, Tarantino's gonna take forever because he wants to keep working in the industry. He doesn't. He's like, he's got that, if I don't make another one, then I've got one more on the board. So, anyway,
and it's like, that's your self-imposed exile. You dumb fuck.
I know, you could change your mind, but anyway, the point I was trying to make, John, is like, DC. They've just been in a situation where you clearly did not realize like what it takes to, I don't know, put up a whole new cinematic universe where you're gonna have financially secure projects that have a safety net. And you could have let some characters cool down, but then you gotta like go forward and start, with the big guns. Like maybe not the first thing out the door, but you have to get there faster. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm still gonna be hopeful. I don't want to like just like crawl into a cage and just be like, well, fuck that, it's all gone. I'm gonna be hopeful. I still am. I'm still curious about Lanterns. I don't think it'll be good, but maybe the general audiences will like it. Maybe it'll do well ratings wise. And then I'm really excited for Clayface. And then 2027, I'm still excited for Man of Tomorrow. Like, we'll see how that goes, but it's just like it feels kind of weird just right now, where it's just like, oh, I don't know what to feel right now. So Caleb said, I'm worried, but I hope for the best. That's
yeah, and
it's just
yeah. I mean, look, I lost my train of thought earlier. I was gonna point out like what I'm really worried about with the Batman thing is the way James Gunn has talked about, like in his own words on Threads and in some interviews. Remember, he mentioned might have been a year ago now that he said that they had to kind of like rework. They did some major rewrites and almost started from scratch on the Batman script, and they were having a hard time finding the story. I think he implied that, or like in not so many words said that, which to me starts to sound like the problem Marvel was having with Blade. And I'm just like, that freaks me the fuck out, because I'm like, how the fuck can you be having a problem figuring out a Batman story for a universe?
Well, I was talking about
the
mainly
way
DCU
Marvel
projects,
does Blade.
but yes.
It's just, you can't Blade Marvel Batman for DCU. You just can't.
If it's even
gotta
continues,
be that easier
so
than
there's that.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's. I mean, I hope Supergirl gets a standalone movie in the future, but it's probably not going to be for a very long time to come, unless she's like a big breakout star of one of the upcoming, like if she's a huge part of Man of Tomorrow and everybody's like, yes, give us another Supergirl. But yeah, it is worrying, John, because not only that, for the DCU, all those ramifications, and James Gunn and Peter Safran, who I think will be hard to replace if they were to be let go, because like, who do you get? Like, Kevin Feige is a unicorn, and he doesn't direct movies. He's like, it's hard to find another Kevin Feige. I mentioned, if David Ellison wants, yesterday I was saying, like, if David Ellison really wants to hit a home run and he's all about making big moves, like, if you wanted to, get rid of Gunn and Safran, why not just go and try to poach Kevin Feige? Like, that would be huge, very unlikely, very difficult, but that would be the ultimate power move, So,
you gotta I don't think that you gotta find someone who is like because here's the thing about Kevin Feige. He's a businessman. He's a producer. He's been in it for a while, and
3 decades. Yeah.
And on top of the fact, like, he's also, like everyone said, like when he was a junior executive on the X-Men set, he was like, Avi Arad called him a Marvel encyclopedia. It's just like, you gotta get someone like that.
Sneaking
and James
comics
Gunn
on the
seems to be like that, but it just seems like it just seems like he's not a producer guy. Yeah, he's produced some stuff, but it's just like, and you do have Peter Safran, but it seems like I feel like the two people were like a good idea on paper, but it feels
but
like
it's like there's a gap somewhere.
One mind, because you need one mind. You can't have like, the creative guy off doing creative stuff and then the producer guy just being like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll do this now. You need one guy to do it, because you need one guy to be like, okay, the producer shit and the creative shit, and maybe they can like direct something, but like I feel like at this point you just need one guy to fucking knows this shit like the back of their hand, but also knows the business side. I don't know if there is anybody like that out there, but
it's a good point you're making. Let me kind of add to that for a moment, because Kevin Feige is the kind of producer who is a nerd and knows all about the comics, and he's a great producer, and he's learned from some of the best over the years. And by the time he got to start working on Marvel Studios movies back in the day, when Marvel was still independent, hadn't been bought by Disney yet, he had already been in the business for like 10-14 years, and so he was kind of like had earned his way up, and then now his track record speaks for itself. And then here's the thing: Kevin Feige he's had Louis D'Esposito. He used to have that other person who they let go of a couple of years ago. She was in charge of the physical production. Then they brought in somebody else to replace him. Louis D'Esposito was like one of his other generals. James Gunn was gonna be that for a little while, and then that obviously didn't work out. But Kevin Feige's got like people who are in charge of the physical production, meaning the nuts and bolts of how to get a movie made. They've got that, he's got those with him. Kevin Feige oversees the creative. He's also, as a producer, knows how the business of making a movie works. So he's a business guy, but he's also very much a creative.
Yeah.
James Gunn is not that. James Gunn is a director who's trying to oversee the creative. And what I worry, John, is that Peter Safran isn't close enough to Kevin Feige to fill the gap, because the more that these kind of things have been happening recently, and the fact that this PR nightmare just says where's your PR team saying, oh my God, we're just going to keep taking hits and hits, or maybe they just don't care because they're like, when the movie comes out, winning cures everything, sure. But it's like, if you stumble every 3 steps you take, then, people are going to not forget about the stumble 2 steps ago. So
they're not going to think about the steps. They're going to think about the stumbles.
Like Peter Safran, I feel like now with the pattern of things that have happened just this year alone, and with how James Gunn has talked about the Wonder Woman and DCU Batman projects, I wonder, because I initially, John, I think what we were thinking is 2 brains to do the job of like what Kevin Feige does. Not quite exactly the same, but the assumption there was that Peter Safran is somebody who is able to kind of be like, he knows enough to kind of be a Kevin Feige, but then he's going to do the business stuff. What I'm realizing right now maybe is that Peter Safran is very much like the Louis D'Esposito or the Victoria Alonso who used to do the physical production of Marvel. Like, he knows how to get a movie made. He knows the nuts and bolts, but he's really like, he might give you some creative notes, but he's not really the creative guy.
He's not a CEO.
So the problem there becomes when James Gunn goes on, into, when James Gunn goes into a soundstage or like just, goes into director mode directing Man of Tomorrow or Superman, he's not able to pay as much attention to the other creative asks of these projects where he's overseeing the writing of, Teen Titans script, Wonder Woman script, Batman script, because you generally are just occupied with the movie. Like, is Peter Safran taking that over and being like, I'll oversee the script writing, you direct the movie? So what happens is like, there's just fundamentally a problem there, and then that's going to cause delays. So I'm just saying, like, we shouldn't be surprised in a few months down the line that we realize that maybe the Batman or Wonder Woman movie may not come out till 2030 at the earliest, because James Gunn is like busy with Man of Tomorrow, then he's doing 5 other things, then he's already got planned out the next movie after this in the saga. And this is where, remember there was a quote in one of the articles about the failure of Supergirl where one inside producer, unnamed, had said they shouldn't have announced the universe. This is basically a film producing deal for James Gunn and Peter Safran. Like, they shouldn't have announced this. Now they're kind of like, this is looking bad. And I'm like, I'm wondering, like, the results are showing that a little bit. I still don't believe that to be true. Maybe that person had an agenda or was biased, but if it keeps continuing this way, like, you do wonder. Like, James Gunn originally wanted to just make a Superman movie, and then he got handed the job for the DC Studios, which he only accepted when they said, okay, Peter Safran can come in with you as well. But it's just, are they really like, or maybe the plan is that they're just like, we'll just hold our breath till we figure out what the new direction under Paramount is. Like, I don't, like,
or
something
isn't
adding up
until we inevitably get let go in spring of 2027.
Yeah. I mean, and the one thing that I pointed out, like the last 2 bullet points in this, in the notebook, he was like, Robert Pattinson was the same age as Ben Affleck when they were both cast for the role. And like, if it took, I mean, he's going to be in his mid 40s by the time this movie comes out. If they do make a third one, he's going to be like getting close to 50. And I know Robert Pattinson may not look it, but can he still play a Bruce Wayne who's in his like mid to late 20s, early 30s? Like, it's hard. It gets harder to believe that. And not only him, it's the other actors' age too, probably not as gracefully. Not everybody's going to look.
That's what I'm saying. I think at this point, like, just do like maybe like kind of just, I don't know, because I don't want to see, like, here's the thing, I don't want to see David Cornswag leave because I think he's a great Superman. I don't want to see Millie Alcock leave because she's a great Supergirl. I don't want to see Jason Momoa leave because he's a great Lobo. But just like,
but John, I don't think that's a solution either, because remember, we're talking about the Batman Part 2, which is essentially a series of solo movies. Like, the problem isn't that they're not doing enough of those, or like that's the way to go.
No, I mean,
because we could clearly 6 years apart for 2 solo movies is a problem too. You know what I mean? Like, it's The problem is like making the right decisions and sticking
I
to
would say
deadlines.
DC should just stop making movies for like at least 5 years until they can fucking figure this shit out. So,
I mean, dude, DC's gonna need to be a cash cow for the new company under Paramount because they're gonna have so much debt. I bet you, like, they're gonna rely very heavily on DC to provide them with some of the most profitability in merchandise.
I mean,
box
and
office,
Lord of the Rings, they're already
post-theatrical.
starting the Gollum trilogy, so that's gonna be a thing.
And they got the Stephen Colbert movie. That's another Lord. That's separate from the trilogy that Andy Serkis is working on. So they need to like, and then the Harry Potter show. They need to mine this IP for as much as they can get out of it because they need to pay off the $80 billion in debt. But John, like, just for the last thing we talk about tonight, because we could talk about this forever. I talked about it for 90 minutes, just this topic last night, and we're coming up on an hour for this. So. Do you think that with this much of a delay now, like, what's your take on where we go with like any hope of those other spin-offs? You talked about the Poison Ivy one recently. The Penguin season 2 seemingly at this point in time is not happening. Remember the GCPD series they might have already canceled, but then Matt Reeves was saying it wasn't really canceled, so like it's somewhere in limbo. And then are we ever gonna see the Catwoman character come back? Like, you gotta wonder what's gonna happen with all those things. Like, if now we're just getting 2 movies and maybe after that they call it a day.
Yeah, I think like at that point they should, because it should just be a duology and just leave it as is, because clearly it's not working. Matt Reeves doesn't know how to fucking, make this shit fast. And or just completely replace him as the fucking writer and director. Get Mattson Tomlin to fucking
who co-wrote it, and he's doing like 2 other projects in that. Like, Mattson Tomlin is not the slowpoke. He's doing another TV show and a movie.
No, I'm saying get him to just fucking write the script. Fucking boot Matt Reeves entirely. Get him or the guy who co-wrote it on the first movie. Get both of them to write Batman 3, because they were both part of the world and know what this all is. And get someone who's like Matt Reeves, similar to Matt Reeves, to fucking direct this movie. Because clearly Matt Reeves is too much of a fucking slowpoke to get this shit started. Again, James Gunn. He is fucking co-CEO of a company, and he shit out 2 Superman movies in 2 fucking years. That's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, it does make you wonder. I think M2G or somebody else in the chat was saying, like, and that report about Supergirl and all the post-production mess that it went through, that it makes you wonder how much power and control does James Gunn even have over Matt Reeves. They say it's all under the same house and all, it's all DC Studios, but Matt Reeves' deal with DC and Warner Brothers predates James Gunn's DC Studios.
That's probably bullshit, and we're not talking about that because that doesn't even matter, because it's just a fan cast, and I'm willing to bet you that's dog shit. That's 100%
That's probably also coming
shit.
from Cosmic Book News. Like, it's just we only talk. Cosmic Book News is not considered reliable on this channel. It's just,
I mean, like, I know, I'm sure that a lot of Reeves fans are going to be upset because they fucking love that movie and are very excited for the sequel. And, technically we already did get a trilogy. We got the Batman, we got the Penguin, and then Batman Part 2. Boom, trilogy. There you go. So, it's just like, just kind of stick with that at this point, because, it's just like, clearly that's not working. This DCU kind of, I have more faith in the DCU right now than I do in the Batman Epic Crime Saga.
Yeah.
Because the Batman Epic Crime Saga has literally one dude, and he fucking can't even make a movie on time. Like, what are we doing here? So, it's just like, all right, okay, that's fine, that's great. But it's just like, all right, whatever. It's just like, honestly, I kind of just want to focus on the DCU at this point. Like, I just want to, because that I have hope for, because that's still early on. That's like, that has less problems. Meanwhile, Batman Part 2 has gone through like 4 fucking delays. It's because, like, literally the only thing you can do, again, if every fucking single solitary thing goes right, Lanterns is a hit, Clayface is a hit, Man of Tomorrow is a hit. Okay, cool. DCU, that's fine, great. No worry about that. And whatever other planned DCU projects are for 2027, fine. Then let's look at the Batman, or the Batman Epic Crime Saga. I'll call it the Reeves verse, because it's
such
fucking
a dumb
easier
name.
to say.
Such a dumb name.
But let's look at the Batman. Literally the best thing, the only fucking solitary thing you can do is one of 2 things. end it after Batman Part 2 or get a new writer and director. Because that's literally all you can do if you want this shit to come out on time. Because there's no fucking way that Robert Pattinson wants to try to move like a 20-year-old, 20-something-year-old while he's 52.
He already moved geographically.
If we're
Like,
going by the math,
you know?
he's going to be 52 by, or like 51, 52 by the time that third movie. He's going to be fucking literally the age when Batman retired in Batman Beyond. Like, that's literally, he literally retired in his 50s, and then it takes place 20, 30 years later. And there you go. So it's just like, and he's gonna be acting like it's gonna remind me of the fucking scene in The Irishman where Robert De Niro is like beating the shit out of that dude, and even though he's supposed to look like a dude in his 40s, it looks like he's about to break a hip because he's really a fucking 80-something-year-old. It won't work. It takes.
I mean, it's not gonna be.
And I love The Irishman, so
it's not gonna be as bad. But it's like, yeah, Robert Pattinson's 41 right now.
41.
He's gonna be 40.
Okay, I thought he was older. My bad.
He's 41 right now. He's gonna be 42, pushing 43 by the time this comes out in February 2028. But if it takes another 6 years, then yeah, he's gonna be pushing 50 at that point. If they do a third,
okay,
like
I thought he was older. My bad.
Yeah. No, but still, it makes you wonder though, right? Like I'm not saying this is the worst problem. It's just
It's not. It's like it's fucking movies
long.
at the end of the day. Who gives a shit? But like, it's just like that's really the best thing you could do. And I just like get me in a fucking room with Peter Safran and James Gunn. Just get me in a room with them and just like talk with them for like half an hour. Not even. It's like, bro, you need to fucking talk to me because like I might not know shit about shit. I'm a fan. I get it. I know I have the power of hindsight. I know I'm just an outsider looking in, but like I am telling you right now, man to man, you need to get your fucking shit together because now, like literally after one bomb, people have jumped ship now. Like it's just like one, and the thing
because
is
deja vu, and it's such a bad
is,
bomb. Like if it was
with one movie,
with
one movie. People have jumped ship because it's just like, one, they don't have the patience. I can kind of see why, because it's like we've been through this song and dance before. I'm not going to put all my faith in this shit, and it's just like whatever. And we don't have the lovely times of 2008 where internet culture wasn't as prominent or as corporatized as it is right now. We're not post-COVID where like movie theaters and the movie industry is like struggling as fuck right now. And just a lot more is on the table. So people are like, I'm not going to waste my time with this. I'm not going to waste money on popcorn buckets and seeing, people I don't care about fly around for 90 minutes. I'm going to invest in stuff that's like YouTube and like manga and anime, because those are the things that Gen Z likes, because these IPs, they just can't figure shit out. And it's just like, all right, okay, well, there goes that. And it's a shame because, like, literally, I can probably write a better fucking Batman script in, like, 6 months. And, like, I could be like, here, have fun, and do that, and, like, make it a movie. And it's just like, oh, well, okay, well, there goes that. And, like, and yet this dude takes fucking 6 years. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I tried to do this yesterday toward the end. I think you were trying to get at it a few minutes ago. Like, look. As doom and gloom everything sounds, if you do take a bird's eye view of it, in isolation, the movie got pushed back 4 months from where it was going to come out. You do worry because I think the biggest calamity of all this, there's two things that bothered me the most. One, they're now coming out on the same day as a big Marvel movie, and there's no guarantee Marvel's going to move off that date. Like, they have a similar thing happening this December, and Disney didn't budge. So, and Disney has won that battle in the past with BVS having to move off, Civil War's date, even though BVS was the first one to arrive at that date. So if they were confident to put a Captain America movie up against a Batman and Superman featuring movie, I wouldn't count out Marvel saying, oh, X-Men and Black Panther 3, either of them can compete with the Batman Part 2. And so the date is the big problem. And what it does is, we were hoping that 2028, that might be the earliest we could get a DCU Batman film, because there wouldn't be another Batman movie coming out that year. So now it automatically kind of, pushes the DCU Batman movie out at least another year, because you're not going to release two of them in the same year. So I think those two things make this all sound really bad. And then you add on to that Supergirl bomb just now, which was not just a bomb, it was the biggest bomb DC has had since the last regime was in charge. So, which was the opposite of what they said they were going to try to do. So, and it's only the second movie out the gate. So yeah, I think it's disappointing. It's frustrating, but it's still early days. And like you said, John, I mean, look, MTG was saying maybe what they need to do at this point is like make that Batman casting announcing sooner than later. You need some positive PR, like throw the people a bone. If not, like, you know, give them the whole, you know, 9 yards, throw them a bone. Like, let's help us out a little bit, because these online, like Caleb was saying, the online marketing for these movies is, a lot of it comes from just us doing the shilling out for them for free, essentially, because we're talking about it all the time. So that, you know, and you're not paying for that marketing. So yeah, if you just make a couple of announcements like that, I'm not saying rush the casting process, but like I think they need to, on some levels, fundamentally rethink their approach to what they're doing. On other levels, maybe a few small, you know, tweaks here and there may be enough. But John, like you said, Lanterns has to be successful.
Yeah.
Clayface needs to do good, because now with every bad decision, it puts more pressure on the next thing. Because not only has the move for the Batman Part 2 put more pressure on the DCU Batman or the Batman Part 2 itself, it's put more pressure on Man of Tomorrow to be successful, because now it's the only DC movie coming out next year. So, you know, it's just, there's a lot riding on
there's like
this.
a secret one that's being filmed that we don't fucking know
It's
about.
highly unlikely. I just don't think that would.
No,
we would know by now. Yeah, and I don't think Brave and the Bold comes out any sooner than 2029, possibly 2030. So, and that maybe that was the plan all along anyway, like I was mentioning yesterday. So maybe that's not really affected by this, but I think the people, it's just the narrative. They need to change the narrative. And I hope to do that. I mean, James Gunn right now is too busy to like worry about PR. He's got a big movie. He's directing, millions of dollars on the line. But like Peter Safran and whoever else they have in their PR department over at Warner Brothers, they need also, Warner Brothers as a studio overall isn't having quite the prolific year they had last year. So you know, like if Clayface doesn't do well, that End of Oak Street doesn't do well, Warner Brothers might, you know, have it rough this year at the box office too. So
yeah,
and DC
especially
supposed
after
to be
such
like
a
the
great
crown
year
jewel.
last year. So.
Yeah. So anyway, well, hopefully we'll still get two great movies. It's just they're in 2 different calendar years now, and I'm sure if there's any more updates on this, we'll talk about it. John, in a week's time, we'll be talking about Comic-Con, so then, you know, things will be looking up, because Lantern's getting a panel, Spider-Man probably will be there. You can definitely get a lot of Marvel announcements on Saturday. We'll be here to talk about them with Hall H, but obviously we'll be back tomorrow with Fancast Friday. So, yeah, I know they're working on a Deathstroke and Bane movie, but I highly doubt they're working on it in secret. Bane. I wish, at this point, I wish they were working on it in secret, but I don't think it's happening. But hey, we'll be back tomorrow. Doubleheader, Fancast Friday. Did you guys vote for it yet? Because the last I checked, John, it might be the tightest vote that we have had on Fancast Friday in a long, long time. Because I think it was a tie. It still is a tie. Wonder Woman writer, a new Wonder Woman writer, and Professor X are a tie right now at 31%.
Professor X, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It was the lowest a few days ago, and now it's tied for the lead, and then Freddy Krueger is at 21%. So it's going to be either Professor X or the Wonder Woman writer, or the new Wonder Woman writer. So if you guys haven't voted, go vote, because like at 5 o'clock tomorrow, we'll pick the winning idea, and that's going to be Fancast Friday. So I think we've had a couple of, you know, blow away wins by categories the last few weeks. So this is tight, very tight. Where do you vote? Oh, so you just go to the community post section on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, you go to the home channel, so the home page of the channel, and in the post section we have the poll. In fact, maybe what we can do is just copy and paste it here. Let's see if we can do that real quick. So we'll throw it in the chat, and then I'm going to throw it in the description for this video. So if you are watching live, or even if you're watching after we're live, I just pinned it to the chat. So click on that link, go vote for it, and then yeah, we'll pick the winning topic tomorrow, and then that will be the topic of Fancast Friday. So yeah, looking forward to it. Professor X would be a fun one to do, and of course the new Wonder Woman writer would be very timely right now. So anyway, I think that's it, John. We'll leave it there for now. Your fig just went and voted, I imagine. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow on another episode of DC Daily. Stay blessed. Hopefully from the beginning.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka!
And remember, fuck Tom King, David Ellis,